Morning, guys.
Morning.
Morning.
Oh, started.
All right.
Morning.
Shall we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Hello, my name is Georgi. So once on a rainy night, me and my friends were traveling with electric vehicle. And after a couple of 100 miles, unfortunately, the car battery was dying on us. So we were in a desperate need of a charger. After looking for some time, when we arrived to the charger, unfortunately, it was occupied. So we didn't know where else to go, so we were left with a dead battery car. But that sounds strange, right? Because the hardware part of the industry is booming, but the software part in our target market is not catching up. So that's why we decided to create the Charge application, which creates a network and connects EV car owners and chargers. So with the help of our application, EV owners will quickly find and locate the charger, have a possibility to reserve in advance. So they definitely know that when they go to the charger, they have a spot there. And if you're a business owner who owns a charger, we can increase the occupancy rate of the charger, increase the profits, optimize the charger, and also upsell products and services. So revenue streams. We get commissions, 10 to 15% from business owners from each charging session. Right now, for the next year, we project to cover the Georgian market and accumulate around 600,000 USD, and in 5 years' time, to cover the Caucasus region and the Stan countries and to accumulate around 62 million USD. So to go to market, we think that to have B2B partnership development, to host webinars, so to convey the idea of what the charger does, to have social media marketing and referral programs, meaning that offering EV owners free or discounted charging sessions, and also to go to different kind of trade shows, fairs, meetings, just to spread the word about the charge. At this moment in time, we have interviewed around 300 EV owners in Georgia, received positive feedback. We have signed partnerships with 20+ owners of charger owners, signed MOU with an Armenian EV car distributor, and we have finalized the design of the charger and charging application, and we are ready to start development of the app. The Chargers team is filled with electric vehicle car enthusiasts, guys who are professionals in IT, in electric engineering, in business and product development, and marketing. So today, the Chargers team is seeking for 55K USD for our future goals for the product and business development, for the application development, and for the next year to hiring more talents and for the MVP launching. Thank you, and I'm ready to answer your questions.
Thank you.
So I actually invested in a company that does something very, very similar to this. I'm kind of curious, like, what your team's experience with hardware and like the firmware of the charging, because that's like one of the biggest barriers to entering the space. Like, because you're trying to aggregate like the supply and demand, right? You're trying to create a marketplace essentially. So there's two sides to that. One is you need to convince the charging people to give you access, but then you need to integrate to that, which is a lot of work. And then you also need to get in front of the people who have the EVs. So it sounds like you're talking to EV owners, but tell me about the demand side. How much have you talked about the charger owners?
Yep.
And what's your knowledge around hardware and firmware for the chargers?
So basically, one of the pluses of the charger team is that guys who are in our team, they are pretty professionals in the hardware part, so meaning that they are importing the chargers, putting up the chargers for the businesses, and doing the maintenance for that. So in that sense, we kind of have a head start with our application. So we know how the hardware works, and now we would like to create an application just to connect the EV owners, like the hardware, and to create a network for the electric vehicles.
I mean, so have you done any integration to charging software yourself already?
So can you repeat that?
Have you actually done integration to those things? Because it's easy to say, I will do, but have you done?
Unfortunately, not yet.
Okay.
It's first steps.
Got it.
Can you help me understand a little bit more about the charging networks that are available here in the region?
Yep. Let me go to my backup slides. So yeah, competition. So in Georgia right now, there is a company called eSpace that actually has the chargers on their map. However, it's not interactive. A EV owner cannot have the directions to the charger, and also they do not offer such kind of perks that we do. So meaning like they cannot, an EV owner cannot reserve the charger in advance. So if they find the charger, they go there, it's occupied, they don't know where to go, and they have to look for other chargers with dying battery. But ChargePoint and Volta, they are in the US and the Europe as well. They have the map, and they have the possibility of reserving the charger in advance. However, we also, with a partnership with businesses, we would like to offer the EV owners through our application some kind of offers, discounts to the businesses, maybe discounted charging sessions and stuff like that.
So can I ask you a question? So I'm looking at this business model, which is, where do you think that you're going to make the most money from this? Like, tell me about your main business model, because you have a whole bunch of different things here, right?
Yeah. So the main idea to bring the money in the team is through commissions from business owners from each charging session, and also in-app ad placements from the businesses.
Which one do you think is going to be your main driver of revenue? Just curious.
Well, commissions from charging sessions.
So then why do you think the offers and things like, you're complicating your business model? So it's just sort of like, if that value is enough, then why do you think this other thing that you're going to do makes sense? I'm just trying to understand your thought process.
Basically, it's an added value for EV owners, as it's for free for them to download the application and to sign on the app. So, but it's an added value for them to go to the chargers that the business owns. For example, if there is a charger right outside the Jita Park over here, right, and there is an offering some kind of discount to the business, the EV owner will definitely go to that charger with our application, charge there, and then the business will pay the commission through to the charge.
Can I ask you a question? Have you seen this work anywhere else?
Not with our competitors. Like, they do not offer that kind of perks, like add-ons in the application. So we think that it's kind of a added value to the EV owners, and also it helps businesses to upsell their products, their offerings.
Let me ask this question another way. Have you seen this business model work at all in any other place?
Actually, yeah.
No, I'm talking about the discounts, the offers part, just by itself. Have you seen that actually work?
Yeah.
Really? Have any of you? I haven't.
Well, I think you're going to end up doing a lot of work to create those offers and discounts and location-based ads and integrations, and that work, is going to distract you from your core business. Is the point that he's trying to make.
The core business is hard enough.
Right, the core business is hard enough. And then I have a question about the number of chargers. So how many chargers are there in the area?
Right now, there are around 500 chargers in Georgia.
And is that mainly owned by ChargePoint and Volta?
No, actually, ChargePoint and Volta are not in Georgia yet. There is only eSpace.
Okay.
So that's the market is pretty early, just growing. So that's why we decided to go to the market. So yeah, around 500, and it's just growing year by year.
Because I've personally used ChargePoint, and it's pretty simple to book and use, and you don't have to. I think the payment. I don't know how much I don't remember exactly how much you pay, but if you're trying to compete with eSpace, which is what is in Georgia, then the booking side itself is going to be a hard business to build. You still have to go sell to all these dealers who have these chargers. At the same time, you have to do these hardware integrations. So I think you're just complicating your business with the offers and the discounts and all the other integrations that you have to build.
It's complicating, and also it's very capital intense. It's very, very capital intense. Especially, this is the type of space that you need to be early and first and just really spread out fast. And it's also something to consider about what you're trying to raise. It's not going to take you too far.
Yep.
So just about the Georgian market. So Espace are here. They have mapped the 500 chargers already?
No. To my knowledge, they only have 50% of the market at this moment.
Right. Yeah. And they just have them mapped. They don't have an agreement with the chargers.
No.
They just identified them.
Identify the charger, and that's
so today in Georgia, pretty much you have to use their app if you want to find a charger.
Yeah, pretty much. At this
and then
point,
you drive there and you hope that.
And you hope that the charger is free.
Cool.
So yeah.
I mean, so you've got something that's useful now. I mean, you even go to market could be just mapping every single charger in Georgia, and then some of them you can book. So you're very useful as an app.
Yeah.
Because you've got the liquidity of having the country covered.
Yeah.
So you're equaling your competition. But actually, 20% of those you can actually book, then 30%, then 40%.
Yep.
And I totally agree. I mean, the offers and discounts seem like something you can offer in 6 years' time when you've won the market. Like a second revenue stream on top of the core, but don't do too many things.
And
after maybe
I would even say, even before you, because for booking you have to do the integrations, etc. Just map it first, and that itself is a value. And if you're getting users because you have the map of all the chargers, then you can slowly start making the bookings available, right? Because you don't even know if there's a business here yet. So before you do all the integrations for booking, etc., if only 50% of the chargers are mapped, why don't you map the rest and just see if the users are actually using the product first before you even start the booking?
Yeah, actually, I had another slide. Yeah, so the market in Georgia is like increasing. So the business is over here right now, and the e-space only has like the 50% of the market. But I think, from my point of view, is just to tackle the market in aggressively, to start mapping and also to integrate the booking. So to get the EV owners get the ideas that there is an application, the charge that I can go there, I can find a charger, and then I can book it. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean the mapping work is something you don't even need an app to do.
Exactly. That's what I was saying.
So literally, it's doing the homework is really important here. Like looking, so the startup I invested is Amp Up. You can look at a couple other companies that are doing exactly like you are doing. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. It's a really strong business model to just copy what someone else has spent 4 years perfecting, because they're surviving. To Zaza's point about the capital intense, it doesn't necessarily have to be capital intense. Financing could be a potential tool and moat for you, because there's a lot of space owners that have a space for gaps in the network. That you can when you show them how much money they can make with that empty space, you can actually create more filling in the network, which actually has a lot of value. You can take higher percentage or whatever. But my question is about the growth rate of the EVs, because I'm wondering whether there's enough customer or enough market in Georgia for this to be a viable business, or even regionally, if there's enough, where is that point where you can actually make enough money to survive?
So basically, for us to survive or to go on break even, we need around 100 customers. But to already generate the money, we need around 250 customers to be on our application. But the market, it's growing since 2021, and also it's an from the government, it's an add-on that it's zero tax to import electric vehicle in the country with free parking and all the other additional stuff.
Great, thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Oh, sorry. The story of the product starts. The story of the product I want to tell you about starts from my personal story just 15 years ago. During my experience in HR, hello, I'm Nino, co-founder of OnDay. During my past experience in HR, I directly faced a lot of struggles and problems key C-level HRs have in their business processes. So systems like functionality, operating in different systems, very complicated processes for data analysis, finally results in inconsistent HR flow, so in efficient data, incorrect data, and low transparency and low employee engagement. On our own based on our own pains and experience, working together in one team or HR software system development, me and my team member Tornika inspired to create the product, considering all HR needs and feedbacks with best technical solutions. As a customer-centric product, we give possibility our clients to be more strategic-oriented. So using fully customized tools, they can create their own HR flows to adapt their needs and requirements, the system to their needs and requirements, and for more efficient implementation, use our expertise support. Using data-driven tools, they can make very valuable insights and to make strategic decisions based on the data. And finally, operating in one ecosystem, integrated all HR modules in it, they can get correct data and legal and safety compliance. During 1.5 years hard working, we get 70% of our product done. 3 months ago, we launched, getting some feedbacks and testing results. We are getting the very success case with revenue by the end of November. So the HR community is the way we are going to sell our product, direct sales, high trust, high reputation, and partnership with other companies. And during 2 years, we will operate on local market based on the analysis we have. And then after this, we will move to some global south countries, some region and some global south countries as there is emerging demand. SaaS model is a model we are using, so per month per company. It will be approximately $755, and after 5 years, we will get $24 million revenue. So finally, our main value is our customer, and our goal is to constantly develop the program based on their needs and requirements in order to keep some loyalty to us and so just, of course, to become them strategic. Thank you.
Can you tell me a little bit more about the product?
Yes. As I mentioned, I'm more than 15, almost 18 years experience in HR, the first knowledge and then experience. And the product is a big system. We are just combined all HR modules, and it's very, this tool gives them possibilities to clients to fully customize, all the needs and requirements they have. And without our vendors' input help, yes. And the main issue is that, as you know, that during the last years, HR is becoming more and more strategic, and they need the very data to be more driven. So, and to be some kind of predictions, automated predictions. For example, if you say that, okay, I have 10 days vacation in summer period in 100 employees unit, maybe it means that I have some kind of problem with this manager or overload or something. Sure. So automated predictions, just kind of alarms that without any report generation, you are getting that you have this problem, now you have this problem, and so on.
I understand.
Yes.
Just one last question for
yes.
me. Can you tell me about who you think your competition is?
competition, yes. On the local markets, so I told that what I gathered the information, the gaps is that on the local market, we have the companies without these three features. So, and that's why we are inspired to do this product. On global markets, of course, there are some Workday, Bamboo HR, Zoho, and so on, but they are not dedicated to this region. So it's they are more USA, UK, and other markets, and they are more enterprise companies.
Sure. Okay.
Yes.
Great. Thank you.
Just on that, who'd be your target customer base? Like what type of companies you're aiming at?
So it's any time, any complexity. So the customer now we have, it's a retail company, holding time company, very complex, including 6 companies in it, and it's. So it does not matter. So it's, but I think that employees under 30, so companies including employees under 30, they don't need to use my system.
Yeah, but like like what size company you're talking?
On local market, I should say that 300, 500, maybe 100, with 1,000. For example, this HR system me and Tornik developed during these last years. It's a SilkNet, maybe you know. It's working. We have 6,000 employees here.
Okay.
And it's working very well.
So really, I mean, just looking as well at the deck, you're sort of like a Workday for this region. I mean, the name sort of.
Workday.
Yeah, you know Workday, the platform?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's very similar.
Yes, but you know Workday exists almost 15 years, as I know, and only 4 or 5 companies use it in Georgia because it's very difficult to implement, to adapt, and maybe the way the HRs and the companies have behavior here, it's very difficult to implement such kind of big, huge vendors. So I think that's the reason.
So you said that you got feedback from
Yes.
some people, like how many people, like who are those people?
Okay, so
are they using the product?
as an 18 years, I'm an HR. I'm a very deep member of HR community. It's more than 5,000 HRs in Georgia. We are events, HR events, network, everything, and so these are coming from them. So it's,
Yeah. So how many people have you showed it to?
maybe more than maybe 500.
So you've already demoed.
As I feel, yes.
Do you have anything that's working today that they can use?
Yes, of course, 70%, and now it's already launched.
Okay, so it's already launched. You have 70%.
Yes.
So
we have 2 scopes. The first scope, HR administration, payroll, time and attendance, and doc flow, and employee portal. It works. It's a big system, so with best technologies and APIs. And the second part is this data-driven tool, recruitment and performance appraisal and training, and the English version. It's the second.
So are you trying to, is your target audience more companies that you have to convince to switch the software, or is it more like companies that don't really have HR systems?
So we have three types of customers. The one which wants to switch because no customizable tools, because they have to adapt their needs to the system and not vice versa. The first one. The other one, there exists a lot of customers that they don't have system, and the third one, that they have, but the old one that the company does not develop these systems anymore, or in-house softwares, for example.
So like which one do you think is your advantage?
Advantage?
Yeah, like if you have to pick one customer to focus on, one type.
So I think this both. So my advantage is that companies who already used and who now want to change because they already know working in the system, and so it's. But I have challenges too. For example, this company did not have, and we implement in a very successful way this big holding company, and did some kind of motivation and good feelings that they are happy and.
Sorry, one last question. Like, I'm like a chain of questions here, but like, what is like? Okay, I'm already using software, and you're asking me to switch, That's
Yes.
always really hard for companies to do, even when there's like a lot of things. So what is your killer feature that you're going to be better than everyone that will make people want to switch? Because at the beginning, you might not offer all the features that their old software does. So what is the
Yes,
killer feature
on
that...
okay, so on Georgia, I know,
Yeah.
I really know because I have worked with five different softwares that they exist here, and the key feature is that the whole life cycle, employee life cycle, the logo is coming from here. The whole life cycle is without any stop, so it's starts and the process is automation and this, without any employee input or how I can say and involvement, yes. And finally, the data is very important. So based on this whole cycle,
So have you built this entire thing?
Yes. So this one is already done. This one.
Okay.
And only training, performance, and now recruitment will be in 2 weeks.
So I think it would be helpful for all of us to understand is the companies that are currently using it, how are they using
Yes.
it, and what kind of feedback are you getting from them?
Yes, yes, the feedback is good, the feedbacks and testing results, and by the end of November we are getting the success case, so and the revenue as the first revenue. So all this all these modules is already operating, and the fact is that this company is very huge, holding type company, including 6 companies with positions. One person is so hired on different positions, and it works, and they're very happy, and they're waiting for other modules to be involved as well.
So in Georgia, is there any similar local company really focused on the Georgian market or the region doing something similar?
Yes, for example, my previous company who is using the very old software, and this company does not so developing software as well. This company is waiting for me as well. They're a big holding company, including 12 small companies in it.
No,
I think he's asking.
Is there somebody trying to do
Competition.
something similar, like focusing on this region? This complete employee life cycle, because there's a few companies out there in the US and Europe doing exactly what you're doing. So it looks like your play is, hey, they're not focused on this market. I'm going to adapt better. I'm going to sell better here because I'm going to understand the customer and do that. My question is anyone doing something similar, as ambitious as you in the region, as your company?
So if I get well, so my ambition is to go in region and then some global South countries because.
და სხვა რაღაცას გითხოს. ანუ გითხოს სხვა კომპანიები, საერთაშორისო კომპანიები. ისეთი ამბიციურები არიანო, როგორც ანუ ისეთი როგორც თქვა თქვენ ხართ, ისეთი ამბიციურები თუ არიან ადგილობრივ ბაზარზეო.
No. No, because that's why they are existing for 15 years and they don't
Legacy.
No one here, just only 4 or 5 companies use the whole Workday or Bamboo HR.
Well, those are the big ones, but I mean, even in JITA, we are even just talking to Marvin, like we've seen pitches for HR at JITA in past. I don't know if they're still alive, but definitely people are working on this. There's other people, so.
On this, the same project?
Maybe not exactly the same, but they still, like in the HR space, they're kind of competitor, right?
No, Ework and Selfie, and they don't have this customizable tool. Really, believe me.
Yeah.
Really, they did not have it. They don't have it.
Got it.
So if
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, this is SmartSense. I am Irina, co-founder of the company. We developed software empowering engineering companies with predictive heating, cooling, ventilation systems. Currently, engineering companies serve HVAC systems in buildings, hotels, and A-class buildings through manual and regular monitoring and urgent maintenance after breakage. All these actions need high involvement of human resources, and it comes out to be a problem. So we came out with a decision, software that provides predicted technical errors to service providing companies, software where it would be possible to, for my customers to access on critical data about their customers in advance. And by making it possible to prevent, maintain, and predict all the technical errors about that this equipment may has. We came out with this solution, and it's possible to monitor, to maintain, predict, prevent technical errors. So who are our customers? Our customers are service providing companies, engineering companies who serve HVAC systems in buildings, and they face the following problems: high rate of manual work in the times of digitalization, delayed reaction, and long waiting customer. By predictive analytics allows service providing companies to be more flexible. Due to service digitalization, it would be possible to predict and prevent all the errors. The business model is a recurring revenue model, where engineering and service providing companies are to be my subscribers, with average cost of $100 USD for 1 unit of the building. We anticipate approximately 8.5 million revenue from subscriptions by the 5th year. My existing customers eager to pay for our new service. Our financial model assumes a 5-year period with increasing income as our clientele grows, and the average value per customer is 1.2K, and lifetime value is $36,000 USD. At the moment, we're in the finalizing stage. We are finalizing software, and we have to test it and implement with our existing customers, and of course generate new subscriptions. Our go-to-market, we are going to penetrate market with direct marketing and B2B campaigns. Competitive landscape is no one else is offering predictive analytics in Georgia, and it's an untapped opportunity. So with our existing customers, we are going to use this as our first mover advantage, and we need JITO grant to bring this platform to its full potential. And we hope to finalize and revolutionize the engineering sphere by this software with our team, who has very many years of experience in software development, software technologies, and HVAC systems. Thank you.
Can you just talk about your experience with the HVAC systems? Because this is a very specific problem you're solving. Would love to kind of understand how you came.
We came out to this decision as far as we have many years of experience in with our former company where we used to deal with hardware systems, because but it's the old way we do this. The need and demand on the market is so high that it needs somehow to be digitalized, and as far as in the world there is experience in this sphere, we saw the opportunity to implement it.
No, I understand that, but I'm just trying to understand your previous experience with
HVAC systems.
Yeah, which HVAC systems. So, because this is a very specific problem you're solving, so would love to kind of understand how did you, what is your experience with HVAC systems, and how did you think about this?
Our team members, our former way of solve these problems was dealing with hardware systems, the chillers, transformers, all these techniques that need equipment, re-equipment, and technical errors which have. So before we had to go there and repair, send technicians. It needs very involvement of human resources. Maybe 3-4 times a month we have to send them their technicians. So by this digitalized solution, it would be possible to predict in advance and prevent such a kind of errors, because we already know the language of this software system, not software, hardware systems, these big, huge techniques which need repair and re-equipment and which has problem unpredicted. Such a kind of problems is always unpredicted, because especially I said hotels and A-class buildings, because such a kind of techniques, you never know what a kind of problem there would be and when it would be.
Can you talk a little bit about that predictive model? Like, what are you really, and how are you doing that?
Yes. We're connecting.
What was the aha moment?
We're connecting the software and hardware. As far as our software platform will already know the language of this equipment, the codes, for example, from the hardware system, there would be sent codes indicating what a kind of problems there is. For example, there is no fuel, or maybe it shows that there would be any technical error after 2 or 3 weeks. Like the car, when the car shows you that, for example, in 30 days you have to change fuel, their oil, and it shows you that there is no fuel. It's a new. It's especially needed in A-class buildings and hotels, because the long-waiting customer, it's very, it makes business going on the wrong way. So they need such a kind of, everyone needs such a kind of solution. But our target is engineering and service providing company who serve buildings, such a kind of buildings.
Can you tell me more about that? Like, how many of them? I don't know the space, right? So, like, how many of these engineering and service companies actually exist here? Size and just look.
More than 15.
15.
Let's take 15, for example. My LTV was for one customer. And if, for example, and all of them are ready to collaborate with us, because no one else is offering predictive analytics. And as far as we are in this sphere and we know our competitors, they would be our customers, not partners, our customers, because they're ready to implement such a kind of solution. Software, everyone needs digitalized world. We live in a 20th century and 21st century, and everything is digitalized. So when you can monitor your problem from your website, you are sitting, looking in the window and the mirror.
So just to make sure I understand, so if you get the 15 companies as customers, like that's 100% coverage of the market?
No. For example, 15 companies who will have their, for example, 15 customers. I made such a kind of calculation. First 15, my 15 customers. Then I have no need to contact with their customers, because they bring. For example, first of my customer would be the same company as I was before, because I had to deal with such a kind of problems with hardware systems. So let's take, for example, my former company, who would be my customer. I already have minimum 50 hotels and A-class buildings which I serve, where I have to go send my technicians, for example, fitness, business offices, and so on. And there are a lot of A-class buildings in Georgia even. And
no, I think we understand. I mean, we understand the problem. Mm-hmm. We like the solution. What we're trying to understand is how many people exist in the market that are servicing those buildings, and how can you actually capture the market?
Capture the market.
Yeah, what's the market size?
Yeah, what's the market size?
I mean, okay, there's 15 players. Like, how much do they charge? How big is the Georgian market? Like, how much do they make? And how much can you charge? Because, like you say, $100 a unit. I don't know what they're charging, because $100 could be a lot.
They have no charge. They have no charge, because the existing companies which operate on the market, like the company which I used to be. They operate, but they do the business in an old way. So it's an old school of doing business, not a new one, not with such a kind of software solutions. So market opportunity is, we can cover, how to say, it's not convenient for me to say 100%, but no one is doing.
But what is the 100%? How big is that market?
Yeah.
So basically, they're asking, okay, so is it real customers seeing the situation in our businesses, right? So hotels, the fitness gyms and buildings, commercial buildings, like what is the marketplace that your customer is gonna find other customers? So what is that, the end? Who are those people? What,
How many are those people? Like
For the
numbers.
businesses.
We want
The
numbers.
numbers.
Yeah,
We don't see any numbers for the market. We don't know.
Approximately 500. That's
Okay.
what I
Yeah.
told. Maybe it's a little
so
bit
500 and then number of units? What are the number of units?
500 units, for example, one building connects its hardware with 2 points, one heating and one cooling system.
So there are only 500 units in entire
Gotta be
Georgia.
more than that.
It would be more, but I have calculation
more than
approximately.
100 times.
Is that's
about
only
this.
$50,000?
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
that was
yeah,
gotta be more
500
than that.
times 100. Yeah.
36,000
Okay.
Per
Are you guys
customer.
okay if I say?
Yes, please.
ანუ რას კითხულობ? თქვენ ესე იგი ანუ თანამშრომლობთ ვინ სერვის აკეთებთ?
engineer, service
service
engineer.
engineer. და ეს service engineer ხო რა თქმა უნდა თქვენ პროდუქტს თავაზობენ თავიანთ კლიენტებს, ხო? და ეს კლიენტები რამდენი ანუ რა ზომა არის ეს ბაზარი? ხო ხდებით ანუ სასტუმროები ახსენეთ იქ ფიტნეს დარბაზები ახსენეთ. ამათ ის რაოდენობა დაახლოებით
Approximately 80%.
რაოდენობა.
I
ანუ
said
500 მეტი უნდა იყოს, 500 მეტი ბიზნესი არსებობს საქართველოში, ხო? ანუ მარტო სასტუმროები რამდენია, ვიცი, შენობები, ხო? ანუ
hotels are more than 3,000, but my
There you go. There
Okay,
you
there
go.
you go.
Three-
We're
more
getting
than
somewhere.
that.
There you go. Okay.
But not all of them need our solution. Our solution is needed in A-class buildings and more than 1,000 hotels.
Well, I think,
Totally.
eventually everybody needs the solution. But
Everybody needs.
What I would love to understand is, are you deploying any sensors at the unit? How are you getting
like
these
this-
codes that
like
the other
what's-
people
yeah.
are not
Yes.
able to get?
What's the setup cost for you? You have to
Yeah.
physically go to the building, install the sensor.
Once
firmware.
just to connect my software to their hardwares.
Yeah, but
Once
only software. You have no hardware. 'Cause
No,
you don't need
because
cellular connection or
hardware
Wi-Fi.
is already installed, and I know already the
So
hardware.
how do you get the codes in your system?
I already know this language of this hardware systems
No,
because
we
I'm
understand.
working
But
more than years.
how do you do it at the location?
They have brain.
That's my solution.
Yeah.
I am gathering this data and tracking it on my software.
So the
from
HVAC
hardware.
systems today already are connected to the internet. You don't
Yes,
need to.
but maybe you can throw this information. If you don't have Wi-Fi, you can use LoRa, so it's not a problem.
Okay.
It's not necessary to use Wi-Fi.
Sure.
Can you talk a little bit about your alpha or beta customers that you have ready?
Yes.
To deploy? What is that size? How many customers are ready, and what would that mean in traction for you?
Straight away, 50. Now they're ready to pay money because they are our permanent customers. We have to solve their problems immediately, straight away, right away. So they know already our experience. They know who we are, what we do, and what a kind of solution we're going to offer them. And also, such a kind of solution is very innovative for us, and it saves money for them. And when client saves money, the money drives decision, So.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Good morning. My name is Irakli. I'm from Ariali. So imagine you check in at the hotel, and the manager tells you there are no rooms available at the hotel, and offers you a transfer to another hotel. When I first experienced this, I was surprised. But as it turns out, it's quite common. Why may this happen? The hotel industry, that is not part of large chains, is booming. But they typically operate with multiple fragmented systems that don't communicate well and timely with one another. And it causes overbooking, misreservations, and pricing inconsistencies that cost hoteliers time and money. As a team, we have seen this opportunity in this domain. So let me tell you briefly about us. We are classmates from university and now several entrepreneurs. In these 15 years, we have successfully launched several digital and marketing businesses with millions of dollars of turnover, and then we moved from operations to the board. And based on that, now I'm introducing our hospitality management solution with all modules that hotel may need in a single platform. So we have 250 paid hotels, and by using our solution, the hotel can increase occupancy rate while room cost per night decreases. And they need less personnel, and they have more happier guests. As I told you, so we have 250 paid hotels, hostels and apart hotels throughout Georgia. And in the next 3 years, we plan to expand into Eastern European, Asian, and CIS countries where entry cost is low and the concentration of non-global brands are high. We operate on a SaaS basis, so the hotel pay per room each month. We have currently $20,000 of monthly revenue, and our monthly growth is 10% with a gross profit margin 45%. In 3 years, so we plan to have 10 million from monthly revenue from 5,000 hotels. That is just 5% of 90,000 hotels in this region. We will use JITA grant to launch aggressive marketing campaigns and add new representatives in these countries, and also to expand our partnership network. So invest in our hospitality management solution, and let's renovate together the future of hospitality. Thank you.
Love to kind of understand the problem size, because I haven't really faced an overbooking when checking into a hotel, but you're just saying that you're going to replace the existing booking platform with your booking platform, which will not have overbooking.
So we are actually a hospitality management solution that offers hotels to manage their reservations. Yes. So that comes from Booking.com, Expedia, and from other channels. And so we synchronize them, so we have centralized bookings, and so we have also to automate their operations.
So currently it's not centralized, and that's why they're overbooking.
So it's not central. They have different systems. So hospitality management system, channel manager, website, a restaurant. So these are different systems.
So now, sorry.
Go ahead.
So now when, let's say an order comes in through Booking,
yes,
they pretty much manually have to process it, put it into the legacy system.
Yeah.
It's not connected. Is that
Yeah. So sometimes they don't have this channel manager, or this channel manager is not part of the system.
Okay.
And so it has some delays, and when it's high season, so there are some risk of overbooking or misreservations.
Sure.
And so
No, I'm just trying to understand that size, because you're completely selling them a new system, right?
Yes.
But if they're only overbooking it maybe 1% of the time, is it worth it enough for them to kind of change to a new system completely?
Yes.
So there has to be something more. So
So you mean why they need to use our system, yeah?
Right.
So
Yes.
So first
But
of
also,
all,
I'm just trying to understand the size of this problem.
Yeah.
Like, how big is this problem currently?
So usually they use different systems. So that's one problem. So it's because so you have some delay between communication, so systems. And first of all, then you need to train your staff for different systems. So, and it takes too much time. So, for example, after COVID-19, there is high turnover of staff. And so instead of weeks of training or months of training, so you need just 2 or 3 days to train your staff. And for general managers, it's very important.
Sure.
Right. Just tell us a little bit how you've got quite a few customers already.
So we have,
How did you get those? What's your sales strategy? Have you received funding to date, or is this your first? Is it bootstrapped? Just tell us a little bit how you got to this.
Yeah. So we have done this business by our soul investments, and now it's on bootstrapping. And so we have around 250 hotels. Some of them are seasonal also. And so in Georgia, so just we operate in Georgia, but we plan so in the next year to go to Azerbaijan and Armenia. So we have direct selling also. So let me explain how this system works in sales. So there are 2 types of hotels. So one is opening and one is the existing one. So and there are professional individuals or group of people. So when the hotel owner or the decision makers they ask to, so please help us and let's open this hotel together. And so these people are very competitive, and so we introduce our system to them, and then they recommend our system to the hotels. And also we have our partnership network, and using our partnership network, they also our system to them. And so we use also events and some conferences to introduce our system to the hoteliers.
Okay. And what percentage of those are new hotels to existing hotels, more or less, of the 250 hotels? Which ones are new? You said you have 2 segments, recently opened?
Yes.
And which percentage?
So we have I cannot calculate it correctly, but so like some of them are new open. So it's like we had customers after COVID that they also reopened. So it's like after COVID many things have changed. So currently we have more existing hotels. So it's like they switch from other systems to us.
Okay,
Gotcha.
So you're getting them to switch.
Yeah. So we have switched from Opera, from Fidelio, from other systems, from Russian systems, from. Yeah.
Can you go to your go-to-market, the future slide? It's like next one. Yeah, this one. So Eastern Europe, Asia, CIS. Walk me through. You're going to tackle Armenia, Azerbaijan. How did you? So that makes sense. Tell me about the other markets that you're thinking about and why and how you're going to do it.
Yeah. So we think that for Eastern European countries, so it's because entry cost is low there, and so for Asian market, so it's like the concentration of non-global brands are high also.
Sure.
Yeah, and that's why. So we think that it's good market to start with, and so if you take, for example, Malaysia, Indonesia, Philippines, Thailand, so these countries they have many hotels.
Sure.
They just it ranges from 20 up to 500 rooms,
Sure.
and so this is our segment also.
So how are you going to do it? Is it direct?
So we will use our partnership network, and also we will onboard. Influential people, so hoteliers that have access with many hotels in these countries.
And tell me about you said your partners. Tell me more about that.
Partner, so how we sell it.
Yeah.
So partners are actually in the hospitality industry. They are ex-hoteliers or just they have their own companies and they help other hotels to
resellers.
open. Yeah.
Resellers. Okay.
Yeah. So
okay. So Eastern Europe as well too. So you go. That's very broad. Which markets are
that's very broad. Yeah. So it's Bulgaria, Hungary, Romania. So actually these countries are Poland also, and also we plan to go to Czechia, Slovenia, and Croatia.
Okay.
Yeah, so these countries are here. So
over what timeline?
So we think that in 3 years.
Okay.
So in the next 3 years. So it's because
with the reseller strategy.
With the reseller strategy, yes, and with our representatives also. So it depends. We will estimate the country. If there is a good potential, then we will have our own representatives.
Can you talk a little bit about the current solution and how the customers that are using it today? What level of support you would have to do for that with the 250 customers? Seems like the MRR is 20K, so that's roughly $80 a month, right? So that's not a high amount you're charging them for using the software or the platform. But what level of support are you doing for them actually? How many times do they call you? How built is the system? Would love to kind of understand that a little bit.
Yeah, so to tell you briefly what system does, so this is hospitality management system with channel manager, so we're direct partners of Booking.com, Expedia, and so on. We have our own website builder with booking engine and with e-commerce system. We also offer them restaurant system with inventory management. So these are all the modules that we offer to the hotels. But so as for support, so we have local support so at the moment, and this support is very important. So it's like, and you're right that so we charge it like less. So it's because we want to penetrate the market, and so pricing matters also very much here in this market. But we plan in other markets not to sell in the same price.
Because your average here is like $200 a month, right?
$200 a month, yeah.
Average for a hotel.
Average, yeah. So it's because our segment is just the hotels that has around from 20 up to 500 rooms.
Okay. And anyone doing something similar in this region that you like and that are a role model?
It's very highly competitive market. So actually, there is Opera and Fidelio, but they have old history, but they are old-fashioned, and also there is Cloudbeds from the USA, but they operate in the USA and in Latin, so American countries, and there is also Muse, it's London-based, and this Muse, so they operate in West Europe, so mostly, and in Asian countries, so we have Clock PMS and Easy Absolute, but they are also old-fashioned, with lack of integrations, and so on.
Okay.
I think it's good. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello. Did you know that 9 billion horse riding tourism markets, folks are still meeting in person and calling each other to set up horse riding tours, while more travelers are booking and planning their adventure online. Horse tour guides and ranches didn't have the opportunity to meet their potential customers. And customers, we are looking for a simple way to find, book, and paying for horse riding tours online. Hi, Dom. I'm Anna, and at Horse Tours, we are changing that game. We created equestrian tourism marketplace, Horse Tours, that unites all types of horse riding tours, guides, and ranches in one space. It is an online booking and payment platform for customers without additional communication via emails or chat with service providers, and it enables equestrian guides and ranches to digitize their services. During the time, we served more than 1,400 customers, and our revenue exceeded $135K. Our business model is simple. We have 25% commission for each booking. Unlike our competitors, we have niche focus on equestrian tourism. It is super easy to find really cool spots on our marketplace that are hidden away in other platforms. Also provide one-stop platform for customers and service providers and having a first mover advantage on our target market. This is our growth strategy, and at the end of the fifth, our plan is to have revenue at $17 million, and for this we need 115K customers. Next year, we are going to penetrate the Turkey, Kazakhstan, and Kyrgyzstan market that are total 115 million market size. There are more than 7K horse riding guides and ranches, and our strategy is to reach all of them and become first e-commerce equestrian platform. Horse riding tourism is rapidly growing in this market, and users have the same challenges as in Georgia. Our team combines all the necessary theoretical and practical knowledge and experience that ensure the success of our platform. We have been working together for 2 years based on the great experience we have in e-commerce, horse riding tourism, IT, and digital marketing, and the fact that Horse Tours is successfully working in Sakartvelo. And we believe that travel is better with a horse. Thank you, and I'm looking forward for your questions.
Can you go back? I just want to clarify something. Could you go back to your revenue slide?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, this one. So that's your rake, right? Or is that the actual GMV in the marketplace, or is that your? That's GMV.
GMV,
right?
yes.
So, but your take is 25% of that, right? Is that correct?
25, yes, exactly.
Okay, I just want to make sure to clarify. Okay. Then the second question is, tell me about the actual marketplace. How many listings do you actually have? Tell me about the geographic sort of distribution of the customers and the average order value.
Okay, at this moment, we collaborate with 70 horse riding guides and ranches, and have now 25 horse riding tours that are open. And our plan is to have 100 horse riding tours in 5 years. And as for on our target market, our plan is to have 500 horse riding tours only in this direct.
And the customer. So tell me about where the customer is coming from. Right. So you have the listings, and then tell me about the customer piece and how much they're spending.
Okay, customers are from mostly from Europe and the United States.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And our average ticket is $89.
Can you talk about a little bit about how the customers are discovering you and how are they booking through your platform? How are they finding your platform?
From digital marketing, SEO mostly, and also we use horse riding community groups in other Facebook or Instagram social network.
I saw there was a CAC to LTV slide somewhere.
Yeah.
So CAC is. Yeah. I'm curious how the LTV is 356 because some of these are tourists. So are they coming and booking again and again, or? It's
calculated for 2 years, and mostly our returning customers are twice or third at this time, and our average ticket is 89, and that's why we have LTV 356.
So they're usually two people. They're booking for two people. No.
No, for example, one customer booked in a year twice at least, and for 2 years they return.
So they booked 4 times.
Yeah,
basically.
4 times for 2 years. Yeah.
Okay, but if a lot of them are tourists, you said the Americans.
Sorry.
You said a lot are tourists. Like
Lo-
your customer base, are they local or tourists?
No, most 99% of our tourists are from Europe and the United States. Only 1% is local.
That's what I mean. So you think they'll repeat? They'll be back in Georgia in a year?
Yeah.
Oh, so they come back
Yeah.
regularly?
Yes, they come back.
Okay, so they have a link with the country then
Yeah.
a little bit more than tourists.
Because when people visit our country, they definitely want to return back.
Can you tell me the split between Europe and... Can you tell me the split?
You know that.
Yeah. I'm one of those.
Sorry.
Can you tell me the split between the U.S. and Europe, and which countries in Europe? So it's a little more specific.
Okay, Switzerland, Denmark, also mostly German,
Okay.
and Austria.
Okay. And then what's the split between U.S. and Europe? So how many U.S. customers? Like, is it 50%?
Mostly we have more customers, like 60% customers are from Europe and other, from.
Okay.
And also we researched it, and from our customers, for example, European and American, even USA customers plan multi-day tours, and for example, Arab tourists book an hourly tours or one-day tours.
So I've done this a few times actually. So and there is a pain point. I mean, I'll give you an example. The way I would do a horse tour would be I'd go to where the destination I am, and I'd go to Google Maps, and I'd look for local horse places, and I'd call them. But there's a big pain point here in there's different tours, different styles, different levels, and most of the horse ranches or places where they do these tours are not very digital, not very professional. So for you to be able to aggregate that marketplace and get a really good service all the time is going to be complex, right? And I think it's easier if you're doubling down on Georgia, a small country. But actually the key here is, in my case, I would go riding anywhere in the world if there's an opportunity, and often I can't find it, or I'm too late, or they're not doing a tour that moment, and they have to do it at a different time. So that's the tough one of just having good quality and be able to replicate that, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the focus here for sure, because I think people like this kind of thing like it. I mean, I myself have done a couple of these things, like, and you could expand it even to other areas. Like I was in Morocco, and they had like camel tours, but like, like advanced booking is good, and they're willing to do it in other countries, especially if they're tourists. So getting that signal from if someone's visiting Georgia to go to a horse ride, and then asking them where they want to go next. Because I go, actually, if you want to go back to your expansion slide, like which countries, because it seems to me like that you don't have to wait. Like this is an example of like you don't need to expand only like regionally, because if you have it, you speak English, like the website's in English, like you could just figure out where your users live, and like focus on those countries because you know how to talk to horse people.
Yes, but the reason why we chose this country at first, it's that equestrian tourism is growing in this country. Also, our main competitors are not in this market, and the challenges is the same that we have in Georgia. So for us, it's easier to penetrate in this market at first, of course.
Yeah. So demand side definitely makes sense. Like it'd be interesting to see or kind of hear more about like your. How do you extend that? Going back to the LTV questions, like how can you take someone who was a customer before, and how can you figure out how to generate more revenue off the same customer by understanding where do they want to go next? Because then you can follow your customers. Like everyone wants to go to X country, then you know where to focus building the next country instead of guessing.
So your question is...
that's a recommendation.
Yeah, so it's more recommendation.
Free recommendation.
Yeah.
More recommendation, but like, I mean, I guess, sorry, the question is like, how much are you talking to the end customer? Like, do you understand, because, always follow the customer, right? Like, how much have you been talking to your customers to understand how you should build your business?
Sorry, can you formulate?
I know. Okay.
Well,
I got it. Let me translate.
So you say you have 1,400 customers.
Yeah.
How many of those have you talked to? Because you have the horse operator, but are you talking to your
კომუნიკაცია როგორ გაქვს შენს მომხმარებელთან და თუ გაქვს და როგორ გაქვს და რა დოზით გაქვს, იმიტომ რომ ეს შენი მომხმარებელი ხო კლიენტები ვინც ბაზაში ვინც ხარ, ხო? შემდეგი სადაც მიდიან და როგორ მიყვება თუ თურქეთში მიდიან, თუ იქნებ ევროპაში მიდიან და როგორ შეიძლება რომ შეინარჩუნო ისინი არა მარტო საქართველოში, არამედ სხვა ქვეყნებში, ანუ ზეპირად ხო არ ირჩევა ამ სხვა ქვეყნებს, აი თურქეთი, ყაზახეთი და ასე შემდეგ.
Yeah, I understand. Thank you. So after every tour, we ask them to give us a feedback, and sometimes when we have free time or have possibilities to follow them, we follow them on the tour. Sometimes, and ask about, for example, how they found us and what they changed in other platforms, what difficulties they have, and we sometimes we speak them on these challenges and where are they going to go next, and we have deeply communicate, and sometimes we add each other in Instagram, in Facebook, in LinkedIn as well. And sometimes they told us to host their country and something like that. So we try to have deep communication.
All the horse ranchers that you have on the platform, was there an acquisition strategy that you used to get all of them here, which you can actually scale to these markets quickly? So how did you acquire all the horse ranchers on the platform?
So how can we onboard?
And how can you scale that to all these other countries?
Okay. So at first, we will find early adopters in our target countries. Also, we participate tourism exhibition that are very important. Also, horse riding tourism community in social networks, and also digital marketing. We have this kind of strategy, and also what's even more important, we have already had collaborating with some horse riding guides in Turkey and Kazakhstan, and they are waiting for us to give them merchant form.
One last question: what are you guys gonna do with this money? What are you guys gonna do with this money? If you guys...
we should create merchant form. This I explain what is this. This is form where horse riding guides and ranches will have possibilities to upload and update their services automatically. Now we are doing it manually with our hands, and now we have open form where they fill up all this information and send us pictures and photos. But after it will be automatically, and they will be able to change everything and upload their.
Just this last. If you went to the US tomorrow and you wanted to do a riding tour, how would you go around about that?
For example, I'm a
let's
tourist
say
and
you're
I
going
want
to USA and for a holiday. How would you go and find a riding tour today?
Mostly they are finding in Google, but there are so many horse riding, not many, but many. They have to search multiple search engine and pages to search horse riding tours, but none of them are a one-stop platform, and they have to call them or message them, and
so there's no marketplace even in the US for this.
We have multiple payment method, and they direct book on our platform. We have also cryptocurrency, PayPal, and something like that.
Okay. Thanks.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Georgi, founder of Tasted. And also meet Georgi, who happens to be me. He moved to Berlin 4 years ago, and he started completely new life without any friends. And his profile is like he's foodie, he's vegetarian, and he loves to meet people. Problem, he wants to find genuine connection, and we know all humans we all crave for human connection. But for a connection, we do need like something in common. We called it common ground. If you are using dating apps or if you are going on a romantic date, you have responsibility, you have a mission that whether someone likes you or not, you are under the pressure and you are afraid of rejection. Here comes the solution, which is Taste It. And we say we connect food mates. So we are changing the way dating, networking apps work by using food as a medium for connecting people. It works super easy. You just swipe food or dishes, you connect to new people and plan what and where to eat. We develop a food platform for every type of food lover while supporting local gastronomy. We launched in Georgia 2.5 months ago. And honestly, we had like amazing results. We already have 7,000 users. We have more than 80 partner food outlets. We have featured more than 900 dishes or drinks in our app. And after launching in Georgia, we were top 3 apps on app stores. And next step, Berlin is waiting. As I said, I'm based in Berlin. We already partnered with 12 local food outlets. Miami at School, students will work for our launching campaign, of course, for free. And we have support of Factory Berlin network, which is biggest startup network in Europe. And I was working there as an art director. Benefits. You connect with like-minded foodies based on your food preferences. You explore food, tastes nearby, using filters, which fits your diet and taste. You can make lists of your favorite dishes, foods, and share with your friends. You get deals from your favorite food outlets, restaurants, cafes, bars. And you can plan dinner with new friends, food mates, or with your current friends. Team, I was working for Factory as their director, but I was working for Burger King, Foodpanda, Kia, Heineken, Coca-Cola. Also, our team members were working for Amazon and Microsoft. And this page is I'm most proud of it because after working with them, we discovered that it's an amazing team. We have basic and premium subscriptions for food outlets and also for customers and built-in ads manager system. It's our projection for the next 3 years. This is the biggest question for us, how big can Taste It grow? And we want to be food in the market. If there's a main app, Spotify for music, we want to be main food app on the market. We are seeking this amount of money. We already secured $200,000. And lastly, don't forget, it's not your date, it's your food mate.
Very well done deck. I think it's the best design deck we've seen so far. So,
thank you.
Yeah. The Berlin connection.
Yeah.
Berlin, man, it's Berlin.
Berlin, and he got a pretty good co-founder, probably.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's.
Quick question. The challenge with these businesses are always the economics. So how do you scale the restaurants in every city and how do you acquire those? And then how do you add all the dishes and everything? I think the idea is great. I love food personally, so it looks like a great app. But at the same time, the economics always get challenged in these businesses. Would love to understand that.
Before, when we had the idea and when we were talking restaurants, food outlets, they loved the idea, but they were not sure. After launching our application, they are reaching out. Honestly, they want to be featured in our application. They want to use Taste It as their marketing tools, like activation. So for now, we are contacting them, calling them, email marketing. We are using all tools, advertising, but we are also building restaurant application. So they can manage like content uploads. It's like a food social network. It's not like a boring pictures. It can be GIF, it can be picture. It depends
So
on
they
your
upload their own content?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But we also help them. We have like onboarding process, of course. Now in Georgia, we have already 80 like food partner restaurants, like GMT groups, Acharaj Group is joining us.
Can you talk a little bit about that onboarding process? How much friction is there, or how easy is it to do that? And also would love to kind of understand the CAC on the customer side.
Yeah. So actually now after launching it super easy, it takes like around like 3-5 days to be like
For one restaurant?
for one restaurant because of the content.
Okay.
To be like fully featured in our application. So we have like two sides. One side is like customers coming, using application, creating their profiles. They're like swiping food dishes. Each food is an influencer. They have followers. So it's how you like treat, how you know like this dish is good or not. Based on like followers. Yeah, you see followers.
Do you see their photos?
Of course.
I
You see
say,
people.
oh, I like that photo. I like that food then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Inverse.
So if I swiped acharul khachapuri, and if you swipe same acharul khachapuri, not general one, we see each other, and I can text you. We can plan, like go to the cafe, bar, or restaurants and eat together, or we can make a group chat and go together. So it's main point. But back to your question, like we will have soon like a restaurant application, so they can manage everything, and they also have access to the marketing tools, so they can see like. How many customers they have? They are vegans, vegetarians. Where are they based?
Yeah, no, I think that business is very clear. Once you get the restaurants on there and you have usability with the users, the marketing tools are natural. I mean, would love to see if you have a plan to reduce that 3 to 5 days to less. Because that's how you're going to be able
because now it's 3-5 days because we don't have yet restaurant application. Like next step, it will be like probably 1 hour just to upload pictures and make your profile.
Can you talk a little bit about the CAC on the customer side? How are you acquiring customers, and how are you able to get the 8,000 users locally?
Yeah, so it's like mostly like marketing cost, also like cost for like app developing, but we have like our own developers. They are like our team members. They are not like outsourced company. So that's why for now, like CAC is like almost nothing for us because we are building on our own. But for the future, like it will be like mostly marketing costs. Because like we want to build like a first Georgian unicorn. We have this ambition and we believe idea is working. And after validation, we see it. Like, to be honest, even my mom went to the dinner with someone else, and I needed to remind my mom publicly on Facebook that it's your like, it's not your date, mom. It's your food mate. So
that's awkward.
Yeah, have you thought one of the things with most dating apps? They started off, having a Tinder date for dinner.
Yeah.
But statistically, they realized, a large percentage of those dates they don't want to be with more than 30 minutes. So generally, societies move to have a quick drink or coffee with the first date. This sort of goes the other way.
Of course. Even our like messaging in marketing, we say it's not dating app. But in the background, in the layers, there's also like romantic background, of course. But our main point is like you don't have this awkward moment when you meet someone. You don't have I need to like someone or she or he needs to like me. We don't have this moment. You are just free. You're just hanging out. You're just eating. And usually where we go when we meet people, we go to the cafe, we go to the bar or restaurant. So it's like automation of this process. So it's super easy, no responsibility, and like, And meanwhile, we are creating like I think if you want to build like a global application, you need to have like social aspect. You need people there. If you're just building like a boring food application, listing foods, no one will gonna use it. That's why like I think this aspect is like most important. And I believe like when we are talking, if taste is an innovative idea or not, I believe having innovative idea is not like creating a new wheel. It's about like observation. It's about observation. It's about noticing small details. And I believe we like catch this, like we had this observation and he has tasted.
Yeah. So I'm actually building a company that's doing this a little bit right now.
Okay.
So, like, I know this very well. So it's been interesting. So yeah, actually,
That's why
like,
you're so quiet, huh?
I'm absorbing. I'm letting him do all the hard work.
Yeah.
But I'm actually really curious because like your positioning is really key because you're saying like on one hand you talk about dating and you kind of led with dating a little bit.
Yeah.
But then you're saying it's not dating, and so it's like now I'm like really curious to look like at your positioning in the App Store and stuff because I think you are here. You're onto something here, which is like. People want to find new friends who like the things they want. Maybe they're new to a city, maybe they're not. But like, and definitely people connect on food. So like, that's also why I've been focusing on food first because it's like our most social thing. So I get what you're doing, but I think one of my questions, like more like tactical too, is like, so you talked about having like 12 local partners. Like, what does partner mean to you? Like, I was a little unclear about that part.
Okay, it's a good question because for us, partners means that they are going to pay. We have subscription model for them. So their dishes will be featured in our application.
Okay, so it's like almost like sort of almost like an ad, almost. Like you're promoting, you're trying to drive traffic to these guys.
So they are creating their own page, but also they are featuring exclusive dishes. We will not have like French fries because if someone has like special French fries, and also we will have built-in ads manager. So if I'm like Wendy's and if I have like new vegan burger, I can promote vegan burger to the vegan audience.
So a restaurant can be a partner, but they cannot be a partner and just upload their stuff generally as well.
In future, yes, and also people can upload.
Yeah, so that's the kind of key thing in terms of like how you're populating the app. Like, is this like user-generated content? Is it only partner-generated content? Are you pulling from Google Places? Like, how are you populating the app with the information?
For now, it's only partner content. It's like high-quality content, but we are planning to add like as a function. But people are like customers are involved. They like write feedback. They follow dishes. So it's like an ongoing process. Because
so can users upload photos now?
In feedback, like for the feedback only.
For feedback only?
Yeah.
Okay.
I love that you're controlling the content and you're making it high quality, which obviously contributes to the user experience.
And in future, sorry for interrupting.
No. I also like the idea that you're not focused on dating because that market is super competitive. So I think naturally, if it happens, it's great, but it's also a great app to discover friends and just have, so
because
I hope you don't go and be like Tinder for food because that would become like really competitive. But this appeal is pretty spot on.
And also, like countries like in Georgia, there's still stereotypes. When I'm talking with friends and when I'm asking, like, are you using Tinder? They are shy about it. So we want to like remove this shyness also awkward moment.
Yeah, well, because this is reflecting real life. Is sometimes you meet someone and they're just going to be a friend, but sometimes not, maybe more than friend, right? Like you never know, right? So I like that. Like actually, I think to the point, like dating apps, very very hard to get the network effects to do dating apps. Like it's super hard. I mean, actually, I'm friends with a co-founder of Tinder, so like I know this really well. Like it's very There's one company that controls most of that in North America. Content-wise, I'm a little skeptical, and I'd love to hear your like response to this. Of okay, today you have like these 12 local outfits. You're focusing on a small number of restaurants, but in order for you to get more money, you have to expand number of partners. But when you expand more partners, the performance for each like restaurant is going to go down possibly because
I don't think so.
You have more options.
I don't think so, and I will tell you why.
Okay.
We launched application 2.5 months ago. We did not launch yet in Berlin. That's why we have like 12 partners. I'm just testing there. How it works. For restaurants, they have competition, so they are competitors each other. They want more followers. They want like more people to go there. So it's like a TikTok for them. They want to be featured. They want to be famous. So I don't think so. This will reflect like a number of our customers.
Just the last question on the economics again. How would you make money?
Subscription from restaurants, food outlets. Also, we will have subscription for like our foodies, foodmates.
Have you tested that?
We did not activate any like subscription yet, but restaurants signed contract and like it.
How much do they pay?
We have two package. In Georgia, first package just to be open their page, it's like 29 lari, and we have like 99 lari. But also we will have subscription model for the like our customers, for our foodmates. So people are paying for dating app to see more people, and they will have more function in application, but they will also get deals from the restaurants.
I think that's a really, really hard hurdle to, because restaurants already have a ton of stuff that they pay for.
Yeah.
And when you ask them to pay for something more, it's super challenging.
Yeah.
So as you scale that, would be great to understand how you actually finesse that economic model, because you're going to spend a lot of money acquiring these customers and the restaurants.
Yeah, our main
make money somehow.
our main income will be like built-in ads manager, because restaurants are already paying for the ads, yeah, for like Google Play, Google AdSense, or Facebook, and etc. But we are telling them, we are offering you like general Facebook audience. We are offering you your target audience, foodies. I think it's a like key point for us, because it's not like a TikTok where everyone goes. It's cool, but it's like a foodies. Only foodies, and they can like also they know like who is vegan, like they know age, where are they based. Also, if I travel to Paris, I can switch in the application, and before my travel, I can plan, I can see dishes, I can plan my tour and like food tour and so on.
Okay.
Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Thanks a lot. Bye.
Thank you.
Hi. Maybe get started. Hello, everyone. Again, I'd like to start off with a big thank you for allowing us to present our project, VioCharge. So let's get cracking. What is VioCharge? I'm going to quickly go through. First of all, the company VioCharge Georgia is actually a subsidiary, an LLC, of our US-based company ChargeFuse, which is responsible for designing, manufacturing, distributing portable battery rental kiosks. We are currently the second largest provider of this business in the world, the largest in the US, and we have over 12,000 locations under our belt. So with that, I'd just like to quickly take you through how it works. Let me go back to the slide. So these are the machines. If you happen to be running low on your mobile device, iPad, iPhone, whatever, you can simply find one of our machines, scan the QR code, as you can see, and this will take you to the web app and where you can fill the payment information. You only have to do this once, and the system remembers everything. Then a portable battery is dispensed out of one of these slots that you see over here. Each one has one portable battery, and then it can charge Apple Lighting USB-C and micro USB power devices. You can take it wherever you want for as long as you need, and then just return the battery whenever you want at the nearest kiosk. Now, if you happen to be using a mobile application, this also will notify you when your time is running out for a specific hour. You do pay by the hour, so it's a useful tool to know where to track where the machines are, the nearest ones. It's a very convenient thing to use. Now, the essence behind the project, the idea. What is the hidden demand? What is all this based on? Why we founded VioCharge? What is ChargeFuse based on? The real reason is the advancements in battery technology over the last couple of years have been quite substantial. However, they're being exponentially, they're being outpaced by the power requirements. And according to the last 15 years of data, 96% of users, a lot of studies have been done on this, do not actually carry any form of battery pack with them. And 50% of the phone users, smartphone users, have issue with this battery power at least once a day. So they do run out. So that is quite significant. Now, this is something I would love to go through in detail with the questions, but briefly, just like to discuss the four main pillars, the main advantages that we have over our companies and competitor companies. First of all, it's the web application. It allows us for a seamless experience, for user experience. We don't burden our users with downloading applications, email, all that nonsense. We have the fastest sign-up process in the entire business. The second very important component is the interactive advertising. Now, these ads will not only be seen, and then they not only allow us to display the ads for our advertisers, but we guarantee them, this is very important, we guarantee them physical interaction. And in order to achieve this guaranteed interaction with ads, we also have integrated this network into existing store loyalty points. Networks, as well as mobile apps and games that allow our users to be rewarded for every single charge. Of course, last but not least, we have our own factory where we produce these machines, and we can fine-tailor them based on the specific needs of a particular market space, where every other competitor charging company has purchased devices from same two-party vendors in China. Just quickly like to go through the Georgian deployment here, what our vision is. And one more thing before I move on, I'd like to mention that, of course, our operation is backed up by 60 full-time employees. We have our own research and development team that can, again, help out in tailoring these machines. So with the Georgian deployment, quickly go through this again. We plan to deploy in two ways. One is negotiated deployments with over 700 locations. Now, these include hotels, shopping centers, casinos, etc. We really aim to turn VioCharge into a public utility that will reshape the way people depend on and interact with their smartphones and charging, as well as taking part in advertising. And number two is we have an exclusive agreement with Spar Georgia. This is a very large grocery chain. And subsequently, we want to take this technology into the EU as well, using them as an anchor chain. So our executive team consists of 4 members with 30-plus years of experience across financial markets, investment banking, and IT. There are just some of the partners that you see on the screen that we have been and are working with in the US. And with that, I'd like to take any of your questions. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so my question is, tell me a little bit about like why you're actually here, right? Because it looks like you're a fairly established company already. So is this a spin out, or like what's the relationship?
That's a great question. Thank you. Our operational budget, if we just start from cut right to the chase in the U.S., again, is entirely dedicated to fulfilling our orders there and expanding our network there. So this company, VioCharge, we have founded because we found in initial discussions with investors that European investors tend to be much more fiscally conservative than the U.S. investors, and they like to invest into their own geographies rather than having to work with a U.S. company.
Okay.
So that's in initial stages of investment phase. So this we believe that our plan for Georgia involves rapidly saturating the market through the help of third-party investments. This is the quickest way to achieve the minimum number of machines that we need to provide an infrastructure that gives us convenient service. And I can go into that a little bit more in detail. So the reason we actually founded the company, to answer your question directly, the reason we brought this overseas to Georgia is to build a platform where we can expand into the EU. VioCharge Georgia is actually a platform that helps ChargeFuse to expand into the EU market.
So it's its own separate company?
Correct. It's a subsidiary LLC that has its own LLC subsidiaries in target European markets.
And so investors will have equity in this business?
Correct, yes. So
like a franchise?
Correct. So what it does is that it provides, it allows these investors to invest into the technology, expertise, and support of ChargeFuse, but at a much discounted valuation for a specific particular market space.
Okay.
Which is something they like to do.
And then is there a plan to fold it up? So let's say, if the European business becomes bigger than the US business, how's that going to work? Because at the end of the day, there's a holding company in the US that is majority.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, again, we are one team. We work from both sides, East and the West, and we would love to, again, merge together as a single entity down the line. So that is how we're going to do things. However, it's all one brand. They're two different organizations serving the same purpose.
Yeah, no, my question is more specific. Let's say you get an investor here who puts 100K into the business.
Sure.
What's his exit strategy?
Yeah, so again, the exit strategy depends on the investment size, like not the size, but the market space that the investor is investing into. So again, it could be LLC VioCharge Georgia, or it could be LLC VioCharge Spain, or again, it could be a bundle. We do offer different types of bundles. So the exit strategy will depend on that particular investment.
Yeah, being acquired by the holding group.
Correct.
Okay, so it's like a franchise model, right? You're using local investors to expand your business much quicker instead of using, your funds from the US, which are probably focused on the US or the EU.
Correct. Yes, that's correct. So as I mentioned, the operational budget is set for this year for the US is set out to expand there. Okay. We're the largest provider there. We are funded to reach up to 12,000 locations by the end of the year, and all of our budget is actually allocated to that as well. So to answer your question again, VioCharge Georgia assists in expansion, and this keeps the companies as separated as possible. It's the most convenient thing to do.
So where do you play in this? Like, what's your role? Like,
well,
you're running Via Georgia, is that right?
Correct, yes. I'm one of the co-founders of ChargeFuse and VioCharge Georgia as well. It was VioCharge Georgia was my brainchild. Of course, we discussed with the team and the board. But the reason I brought the company overseas is because of the connections and the ability to set up meetings, facilitate things that allow us to get these strategic partners on board, such as SPAR, for example.
How are you allocating your time?
I'm mostly involved in investor relations. So I look for visionary people, entrepreneurs, again, grants such as this, to help in expanding in individual market spaces. Our ideal strategic partners are, again, the locations that we like to distribute our machines into, strategic partners. For example, Simon Property Group, Mall, that's one of our largest investors in the US. And of course, they've been investing and helping us to expand and become the largest provider in the US and we actually collect no revenue. They collect no revenue from this service simply because of the customer satisfaction, increased foot traffic, and the stance on technology that it brings.
Can you talk a little bit about the economics? The financial overview we see here, is that related to Georgia, or is that the overall?
Yes, correct. That's correct. So the models that we used, again,
so specific questions, how much money would it take to deploy the 700 locations that you're talking about? And then per machine economics, would love to kind of understand that.
Yeah, so our current valuation, again, as we have, again, first of all, I'll start with charts just to give you an understanding of where we are with investments. So our last round, we raised 15 million at a 50 million valuation. But for ViewCharge Georgia, we have the valuation stands at 3 million. So the investment size that you see here, everything is used to allocate these number of machines. This data is based on over 5 years of experience that we have. We know roughly how many machines we're going to need per market space in a particular location to achieve a convenient service. That's something very important that I mentioned that our competitors have not done. In order to have a convenient service, you must have users easily access these machines. So you need not too many, not too little. And the reason we started in Georgia, because we have other businesses such as the e-scooter business that we have learned from, and we know just where to place these things and how many we need.
Can we get into the economics a little bit about per machine, as well as how much money would it take to deploy?
So again, these machines that I forgot to mention, I apologize, that we have different types of slot, different machines, but mainly we have 15, 25, and 45 slot machines. It starts off somewhere from a little over $900. We see it for the little machines, and it could range up to $1,500 to $2,000. It depends on the machine itself. So there are different upgrades that we can have. For example,
you're talking about $1 million investment to deploy all the 700 machines, roughly.
Correct. Yes, and they will come in different sizes. Again, the ROI on these machines is different. So again, for example, for the 45 slot machine, the ROI is much lower than the average ROI because they generate a lot more revenue. But we have had extreme cases where...
Can you walk us through the average ROI?
Yeah, sure. So the average ROI, again, so just to give you an understanding of where we stand, 4 to 6 months is for the 45 slot machines. But you can have up to 21 months for the average ROI. So because the lower, the ROI in the lower machines, it's much greater. It could be up to 48 months. But in some locations, for example, our Madison Square Garden, where we have actually deployed these machines, we have had ROI of a single day. That's how effective these machines are in generating revenue. So it's really depending on a particular market space. There are some approximations that you can use, but the more convenient the service is, the more aware the public are, the lower the time.
And how much would a customer pay per hour?
Great question. Yeah, so that's a very important one, and the short answer is it depends. Again, we want to make the service as convenient as possible. So in Georgia, for example, we'd be starting from 1 to 3 gel. However, in the US, we can go up to $3 to $6. So it's a massive difference for the different market space. We want the customer conveniency to be the top priority. Now, I did mention something about advertising, and it does relate to the price. If you want, I can also discuss this. The revenues we collect from advertising in the US is actually a lot greater than the revenues we get from the charging rentals. And this allows us in some locations to run the service for free. So that's something that we love to do, is to provide conveniency to allow users to seamlessly interact with this service, charge their phones completely for free or at a much lower cost, and be incentivized to engage in ads. And these networks that we've created with strategic partners help us to have our customers accumulate points that then they can spend with these chains, such as Spar, Carrefour, many different locations, and they're incentivized to do this, and really revolutionizes the way advertising is served. Because today you have awareness but not engagement. Engagement is something you need before you get a purchase.
So the ROI in Georgia is going to be massively longer than the US if you're charging, what is it, $6 versus 2 or 3 gel here, yeah. And the price of the hardware is the same, right?
Yeah, correct. But the ROI that I mentioned is for Georgia. The ROI is
for 48 months?
Yeah, 21 months on average, I said. The 48 is just for if you just take one little.
So it must be
machine.
2 months in the US, or 3 months or something.
Correct, yes. And as I mentioned, that's why I give you the example, in such certain locations, such as the MGM Grand, we have had...
Yeah, but it's all average though, right? You'll have good places and bad places all over.
Sure, of course. But the average in the US is much lower, of course.
Yeah,
It's already an established business.
The hardware costs the same.
Right.
One of the big things with motor sharing and scooter sharing, the cost per minute, in some places you can do it. The economics don't work in other places because the hardware costs the same.
Right.
So I feel like this, like, I mean, obviously you have a business here, and you know, like I was in New York City like this summer, and they have a lot of these kind of utility, like these kiosks where they have public information and charger, and even Wi-Fi access. So it's kind of interesting. There's a model here, but like, this is kind of like, I'm interested to know what your long-term defensibility is because, for example, like I invest a lot in battery technology. I can tell you probably like in the next 5, maybe 7 years, like energy density will be so high, people won't run out of battery juice during a day. And as long as you're plugging in your phone at night, which is most people, like your business might collapse once you have because people switch their phone every 1 to 3 years. Like that's a major threat to you long term. Like how do you, I mean, like you can make a lot of money for the next 5 years, but then like, what's your response to that?
Yeah, so
because, long-term viability.
Great question. Thank you for that. So that's, again, something that I've been asking myself in the beginning stages when I first got involved in the business. Here's the idea. Based on the research, of course, as I mentioned, the battery technology is improving, but it is not catching up to the exponential increase in power consumption. For example, 5G uses twice as much energy as 4G. So even after 7 years, people are going to need, maybe a lot less, but they're going to need to charge this. So if it's a completely free service, it's something that people will still use for much more than 7 years. That's one thing to address directly. The second is that, of course, this blue ocean strategy that every company is trying to find, we're trying to incorporate this in the beginning through our strategic partnerships. Again, as I mentioned, the advertising model is the most important thing. This is a tool, just like in chess, that ties down a pawn so you can open lines of attack. Once you have a lot of people using the same application, the advertising model becomes very, very efficient because you can have the customers generate a lot of points they can use to get discounts. They're incentivized to take part in the ads. So this charging then becomes the same thing as taking part in the advertisement. And that's something really important to us because the customers won't just be taking this to charge their phone, but they're also interacting with our strategic partners in a way that gives value to both sides. So that down the line, as I mentioned, is the new way of advertising. It's a more engaging way. And this is a very useful tool to tie down a large population.
Yeah, I mean, this is a good answer, but like, I mean, at the end of the day, like your on-ramp is, I need energy because my phone's dying, and I actually don't agree with you. Like, it is true, like consumption, like power and stuff like is increasing, but like the energy density is not going to be incremental compared to the past with lithium ion, like with solid state batteries and stuff. So like, I'm not sure I actually believe that. But like the other thing is like, okay, always looking at what's the consumer's next best thing. Like if I have an iPhone and Zaza has an iPhone, I can charge his phone with my phone because the Qi chargers, people don't necessarily know that today because not all phones have had it, but like within another couple of years, like all phones are going to be able to charge each other. So like even if you run out, like your friend will just lend you the energy.
Or you might.
Like, there's multiple alternatives that are like easier to the customer. Yeah, so like I don't like, I'm just saying like long term, like
might charge your phone.
Yeah, like definitely. I mean, because Qi chargers are becoming so available. Like now, it's like going to become easier and easier. Oh, I didn't bring my cable. I don't need my cable anymore.
Right.
So like. Yeah.
Right. So again, thank you for emphasizing this. I would like to give a very, very simple example. So right in front of you, you have your phones and your water bottles. You both need them both. You don't want to go thirsty, and you don't want to have your phone dead. They're both important, and both you can charge for free. Right? And you can recharge, you can rehydrate for free. Here in Georgia, maybe not in some countries, but tap water is drinkable, but people still buy water. People still go to vending machines, and still a huge business. It's a conveniency thing, sir, not something that is absolutely necessary like oil and gas that the entire economy depends on. So because of the conveniency, plus the advertisement, this is something down the line that has a lot of value. So it's not that you will not be able to reach your location, but you just do not want to go thirsty while you go at it. The only issue is that if you have to go through the hassle of finding this vending machine, finding the recycling bin, and getting knocked off your daily routine, you don't want that water. You just go to the office and drink it from the tap. So that's the most important thing is conveniency. There is a hidden demand, and I believe from this research and studies that we have done that this is going to be going on for a long time. And even if the battery technology catches up and starts to at some point increase exponentially, because the demand of the energy is increasing exponentially, it's still going to take time for it to catch up. And by that time, you mentioned 10 years. In 10 years' time, we're going to be an advertising juggernaut in Europe. And that's something that there's so many different continuations of the business. This is just the beginning that we use.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. If you don't have any other questions, I would like to thank you for allowing me to represent my company. And with that, we'll say goodbye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi.
Can I start? Each and every year, hundreds of thousands of students are walking confused in the university hallways, looking for jobs without no prior experience and limited time schedules. On the other hand, there are thousands of HoReCa businesses who are lacking staff and they have staff shortages. Hi, I'm Gegi, the CEO of Herio, an on-demand job platform connecting those confused students with the businesses who have staff shortages. So how do we help exactly? For HoReCa businesses, hotels, restaurants, and cafes, we find on-demand candidates almost instantly. We reduce their costs, and they spend almost 0 minutes on HR processes. For the students, we create an opportunity to get additional income of a couple of $100s per month and work whenever they want and be flexible. So how it works exactly? You sign up on the platform, fill availability schedules, receive and apply for the jobs. We already have traction. We have created MSP. We already onboarded more than 500 students, and we are partnering with 45 businesses. We are growing monthly pretty fast. So for our main revenue stream is the percentage cut of each successful job done on our platform, which is 12% fee. And we also have a subscription model for businesses who need specialized, customized pool of talents for their shifts. The market is quite large and the problem is real. We are starting our businesses in Georgia and continuing our development to Poland and the whole Eastern European market, which is quite large. Its temporary work market is 7.4 billion. Our market strategy right now is to somehow emphasize the university campuses. We are going there daily on university job fairs, on campuses. We have college ambassadors with our merchandise. We are targeting them. On the business side, we are targeting them through referrals and word of mouth and social media marketing. So with current plan and current development, we are projecting to grow around 70 million in 5 years. We assembled a championship team to tackle this problem like Golden State did in 2016 and 17. We have people with experience in restaurant and HoReCa. We have a very high veterans in HR sector, and we have crossed with the Levan business and generated some funds. So we're asking today to receive 55K to continue our growth and become the students' gateway to an employment market after creating our app. Thanks a lot, and I'm ready to answer all your questions.
No, I mean, I built a two-sided marketplace before. It's the hardest thing to build because it doesn't scale. So, you know, it's obviously on a local local level, it's very easy to do because you're here and you're acquiring all these students and you're acquiring all these businesses. But as you think about scaling at a bigger level, the model just breaks down. So I would love to kind of understand what strategies have worked for you here that you're going to employ as you scale. And then I have a couple of follow-up questions.
Sure. So for Georgia, I think it's clear that we're targeting through universities. We have partnered with major 3 universities. And also for Poland, I've lived in Poland and studied in university. I was in the student council as well, and we have a lot of connections there. And that's why we're targeting through Poland. And we have already in talks with 3 universities. So that's the same strategy we're going to implement there through student councils. And well, there are lots of Georgian restaurants as well in Poland, and that's going to be our head start to implement our staff shortage problems there as well. So that's going to be our moat there and start from there. That's our strategy, I would say. If you have follow-up questions,
The students that are looking for work, can you talk a little bit about how many students were able to find work? Can you go back to your revenue slide for a second?
This projection,
I know. The current traction and revenue, So is this the money you're collecting based on what the students are getting paid for these jobs?
Yeah, we're taking 12% cut on top of their...
This is the 12%?
Yeah.
This is the 12%. And they're getting paid through your platform?
Yeah, currently we're working on a semi-automated model. As I said, it's MSP. It's just tables and Airtable connecting each other. It's like not the... perfect one, we want.
But eventually, your plan is that they would get paid by your platform.
So
you'd collect the money.
Collect on gateway,
Okay, got it.
Okay, so jumping on that one. So today, what sort of contract as a restaurant owner, give to that person?
You mean the process of law?
No, legally. I mean, I have to pay him. So
we're doing the same as Glovo is doing in Georgia. It's like 1%, special business status, because that's our advantage. We're helping students to monetize on this and don't pay.
It's a freelance.
Yeah.
Okay, and this restaurant handles that directly with the person today, the student, right?
No, we handle everything. Restaurant is not handling anything. We are the ones who are handling.
You have our model.
Yeah.
Okay, and how do you see that working as you expand?
So far, so good.
Of the countries you've looked at regulatory-wise? Regulatory-wise in the countries you've looked at?
So far, it's...
Because Georgia has an amazing model.
Yeah.
It's quite unique.
Yeah, it is.
Sorry, because I've seen a lot of these apps over the last probably 10 years, Europe specifically, and generally what these companies turn into is a temp job company, right? So temporary, that they exist.
Temporary stuff.
In Europe, they're called ETTs, and basically you just work as a specialized in Horeca and restaurants as a temporary workforce, and then you charge your margin on that based on similar to what you're doing.
Understand.
No, which is a little bit more complex, right? The management of that, because you need pay slips and things like that with temporary workers, not instead of invoices.
I didn't understand.
Okay, so what I mean is many models you can't use this model you're using because it's super easy, and depending which countries you look at, you might have to become a temporary work platform.
Yeah, for European Union it's pretty different.
It's a little bit more complex.
Yeah, it's more complicated, but they still have some cuts for the students, and they have also special status, depending on the country. But generally, I understand what you're saying.
Can you just go back to the traction for one more second, please? So from the 500 students that signed up, those numbers are related to how many people getting jobs?
Well, for example, for this October, we had around 650 shifts done. We will calculate in the shifts itself, and it's average $4 per shift, our revenue.
So 650 shifts among how many people?
It's around 250, 300 students.
Got it, okay.
And a shift is like 8 hours?
No, mostly the shifts are 3 to 4 hours. They're short shifts because the students don't have that much time to be on the... And the demand is really high from the students. We can see that they're really liking, and that's why we're here to just somehow create an app and to scale. This business needs a scaling.
No, I think the key, I think for local, it's a great business if you can scale it because you have identified a need, you are here, and you can capture that market, and you know exactly how to acquire students and businesses. As you scale other markets, you have regulatory challenges, but also you have a problem of how do you actually going to go about acquiring the two-sided, the businesses as well as the students. And the economics, usually, they don't really work out. So And I think you'll have to figure that out.
I think, sorry to interrupt you, like for our strategy, for example, Poland will be the same model, like targeting the universities, because we have lots of connections there since I've been in the college 3 years there, and I've been in the council as well, so we know a lot of people, so we will have starting capital there a lot. Like at least we can gather, as we have captured like 1,000 students at least, which is like really head start there. So, and Georgian restaurants, we have connection there as well, so it's going to be our first, defense there.
How does the matching work? Is it on demand? Like I'm a restaurant owner, I've got somebody's ill tonight, I need somebody, and the network gets an alert?
Yeah, so basically all the students have their schedules filled, so we know who is available at that time, and we match them. For example, if restaurants like someone, especially, we have option to just ask this person if they are available, because sometimes restaurants are very keen to hiring the same people.
And can they fill their experience and stuff in there too?
So we have, the thing is that we are helping students, so we are doing mostly the easy jobs. So we are doing just pre-scanning like Glovo, that they are not criminals or something. And for example, we do like 10 minutes interviews, like to just know the people, and then we onboard them, and it's really easy for us to. And then we have feedbacks for each side is giving a feedback to each other, so we know who's good and who's doing something.
And how many of the 500 students, sorry, just one last question. How many of the 500 students have filled their schedules that
all
have
of them.
registered? All of them?
All of them. They have to fill it. Like some people are really busy and...
So they have all completed their profiles?
Yeah. Without that, it's not onboarded. Right. We're talking with more students.
So I'm trying to understand. I mean, I think the supply side is interesting, especially with the economy and people like more and more young people like flexible work schedules. So like, I definitely think this is like just demographically, generationally, this is very interesting. On the business side, like what size businesses are this? Is like a single location, or are they like small like chains, or?
I'll tell our biggest targets are SMEs, small and medium, because the bigger companies right now we're not targeting because we are more oriented on HoReCa sector, where this problem is the realest. So when we're going to grow, we're going to concentrate on the bigger companies as well and chains. But they have their own HR processes, as you know, and it's harder to adapt with them. But the smaller companies are easier, and there are lots of in this region, there are lots of small hotels, restaurants, so it's easier for us to target them because they don't have. So the main problem is that those companies don't have resources to have HR team. The students can't work all the time, so we're just connecting them.
Yeah, the reason why I ask this is because the larger you are, like say a hotel is a pretty large business with a lot of employees, or you have multiple locations, it's much more likely that you're going to have an actual scheduling platform that you have, and like they have to go look at yours, and you have to talk to their system, and like the number of integrations, like I don't know how many that might be, but like you need to get the systems talking to each other, otherwise the scheduling doesn't work out. If it's a smaller company, they just may use you as the scheduling platform, which is like really sticky, and there's a lot of customers like that, but also those smaller businesses are because they're like the owner is probably owner is the manager, which means like they're very stingy. They don't adopt new technology, they don't want to pay new technology, so it's like it's much harder. Like I've seen this with a lot of startups, is like they start at the SMEs, and then after a while they get burned out and they try to move up the chain because they don't want to deal with those small businesses anymore because they're super high touch, high maintenance customers, basically, from like a paying customer.
And that's why it's hard to scale.
Yeah. So I'm like, what's your response to that in terms of like where you play? Like, are you doing integrations to scheduling systems right now? Like.
Yeah, so basically our main target are SMEs right now because, as you said, the bigger companies have their own HR systems. You need lots of APIs and lots of.
But even in SMEs, there's a huge range. Like, I mean, like.
We are 5 to 50 employees. That's our biggest target.
You're getting to so one location, 5 to 15 employees.
And how big is that size just for Georgia? Can you kind of define that a little bit?
Second, I should have that slide.
Yeah.
But basically, Georgia, it's around. These are the sectors we're going to be targeting. Like we're starting with HoReCa, but we're using events companies as well because events there are like big events happening. For example, weddings, some musicians.
So I don't see restaurants here.
It's HoReCa.
HoReCa.
Oh, HoReCa's
Yeah, yeah.
restaurant. Okay, got it.
We use that term a lot in Georgia.
Okay, got
so
it.
yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, I learned it here.
I even didn't.
Hospitality.
I even didn't know.
Can I ask a question? How,
Yeah,
how big's your market here?
Don't use
Yeah, how
acronyms.
big's the market?
The market, I think there are more than 50,000 companies than SMEs. There are 250,000 companies total in Georgia, and I think 45% of them at least are SMEs.
Yeah.
And how many restaurants?
How many restaurants? So there are more than 10,000, I guess.
I think
remember the
what would have been great is on that previous slide, you had numbers for each category, so then it would have helped define that market a little bit.
Which one?
No, the market slide.
Yeah.
So a quick question. So I've, being in the gig economy, I've seen a lot of this stuff over the last few years. So what's going on in the rest of Europe and, because I've seen some of these companies start, I haven't followed them.
For example, in
Yeah,
Netherlands, there are 16 those type of companies working in the same industry. The thing is that demand is so high, there are not enough companies. Like for us, talking with the businesses is a pleasure because every time we go to the business, our kind of, if we talk with 100 business, 90 of them are okay to work with us because the problem is really huge. And for the students, when we go to university job fairs, everybody's coming to us.
I agree. But let's say you go France. I saw 2 of these companies in France 5 or 6 years ago. I don't know how big they become or if it's working.
Yeah.
But I mean, how would you penetrate a market where somebody's got pretty much the same, product as you and the same?
Okay. For the local competition, right now there are no competitors who are doing exactly what we are doing, and there are more HR traditional platforms. And internationally, our main advantage is the subscription model. So we are analyzing the demand of the restaurants and we analyze their gaps. They're using our platform to do the shifts. So this is what we are going to do from the second and third year. This is not the first layer because right now we're concentrated on customer acquisition, but that's how we're going to differ from other European startups, that we are going to help businesses to find their gaps, and we have customized talent pools for them only. So they need basic trainings. We will do the trainings as well for them, and they will have, for example, 45 people customized pool, one restaurant, and they will choose from that side. So they don't have to look every time the new option for them. Because as Tim mentioned, some restaurants have their, or hotels have their requirements. Some restaurants don't have, for example, family restaurants don't need that much of a training, and some of the bigger restaurants will need that much of training, and they will need a good qualified candidates for them.
If I were you, I would focus on the Georgian market, try to capture as much market as possible, dog feed the scheduling idea in other markets and let that grow slowly, and then go acquire the students in those markets once you have enough locations that are kind of using the scheduling tool. So because otherwise you're going to focus on those other markets and you're going to get burnt. But you have a clear market here.
We're starting from here. We're going to burn out this market, and then we're going to go to the other ones.
Yeah, also basically what Ayush is saying is that revenue stream. And this is something we did with Krusty as well, if you're familiar with Krusty. So the revenue helps you, it makes you more confident going outside and you don't have as much pressure. So that's why it's so important to dominate here. Go and dominate here in this country.
That's our plan.
It's going to be easier transition for you to the next one.
Yeah, basically that's what we're going to do.
And you can dog food the scheduling idea. I think that's a smart idea so that you can get some of those mom and pops on your platform, start using your scheduling tool. Maybe it's like Calendly for,
that's what we are giving businesses as well. That's what I was talking about European.
Just let it out there. Don't focus on it, but try to get the market here.
Through that Schedule app, we'll get the data, and with this data, we'll help. Basically, we are also a diamond data for all the companies because we have 50,000 students every year coming. So we are the first one capturing this market. So we are also focusing on the data as well because data is the new gold now. So that's another advantage for us as well.
Yeah,
I think we're over.
Yeah, we're over.
Thing,
but
we're over.
Anyways,
thanks
very much.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
We have one more. The guy's waiting.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I just saw him wandering.
Hello, judges. May I start?
Please.
Hello, judges. This is Nodo, co-founder and CEO of Sportal. Managers of private stadiums in CIS countries are suffering because of overworking. They have to take care about whole venue reservation process, answering mobile phone calls, write down reservation time, confirming it, and also they are responsible to receive payments. So they are working so hard, and what are they getting? For 15 hours per day average, the stadiums are completely empty. So why does it happen? It happens because of changing demand. From 6 a.m. to 4 p.m., the demand is 80% less than evening hours. So they have supply, but can't utilize it because of changing demand. And that's why they are losing money. We saw that pain, and that's why me, with my 3 co-founders, 1 year ago, we started creating Sportal.io to help private venue and stadiums managers and owners in reservation time scheduling and also raising demand with flexible prices. For 3 months, we are operating in 2 big Kazakhstani cities, and after acquiring more than 30 active paying customers, private venues, we have such a great results. The last month's revenue for us was $23,000, and for venues, we decreased the unreserved hours rate, as I mentioned, from 15 hours to 9 hours because of offers and discounts. And also, their marketing costs decreased by 60%. Because they are finding players, their target audience, through our platform. That means using Sportal, our platform, is plus 45K revenue annually for them. We are using very simple monthly subscription-based model with different features we are offering to venues. The LTV ratio to customer acquisition cost for us is surprisingly high, and it is 151. We are 9 in our team. 4 of us, we are co-founders with more than 5 years of experience working together. And I, with 4 years of experience in organizing community sports and managing private stadiums. And also we have 2 advisors in Kazakhstan market, and one of our advisor, fortunately, is one of the biggest marketplace, the e-commerce platform CEO in Kazakhstan, is also Tamas Makatsaria in Kazakhstan, professional player and advisor. For us, the biggest competitor is Swiss startup Sport Unity. 5 months ago, they raised 2.8 million as a venture funding, and also announced to enter in Eastern European market. So this is big trigger for us, and that's why we are sure that this is the best possible time to enter and penetrate CIS market. That is why I'm standing here in front of you and asking for JITA investment to cover our marketing and sales costs, which will be a great boost for us to enter in Kazakhstan, in Uzbekistan, in Azerbaijan, and in Armenian market in next 9 months. So be part of us. Come on, let's get in the game. Thank you.
Good. We've seen each other before, right?
Yeah, I was going to say, I recognize this.
And I think I know, just for the other, so I know the answer why you're not doing Georgia, right? You sold your business here, Georgia, and you're looking in the other market.
But you don't know the main reason, because I can't explain it. Do you want? Okay.
No.
Sorry for interruption.
So you're not focused on Georgia?
No, we validated the service here.
Exactly.
That's because the market is pretty small. We had like 20 venues here. So we validated the service here, had an exit, and our aim and the goal was to enter in Kazakhstan market because of other reasons. And also, we had exit, and also your academy, the Patchouli Academy, was our partner in Georgia. So 1 year ago we did exit, successfully.
And then just focusing on the venue type, you put a massive stadium, but I imagine most of your venue types are smaller and much more managed. Yeah? Can you explain a little bit about how it's working in Kazakhstan?
Yeah, less than 100 capacity. It's kind of amateur type sports for practicing, for amateur sports, not professional like the big stadiums or the big club stadiums. It's like amateur small stadiums for practicing, like school and high school stadiums and sport academy stadiums also.
How does it work? Like, for example, you guys have subscription, right? So you guys charge monthly. For the academies or schools or gyms, like I just want to have one. Like obviously I cannot work multiple unless they charge me.
Okay.
Unless they charge me, based on the rentals, right? So how is the competition in those countries?
In CIS countries?
Yeah.
For sure, our biggest competitor in CIS countries is mobile phones. The managers' phones and also papers and pens because they are using. to, I mean, reservation, like scheduling. Mostly they are using Excel folders or papers and pens because they don't have, there is no like platform like us for sure. And that's why, I mean, we want to be first movers and have advantage there. So service is validated, but not in CIS market is no one like us.
And give us a use case, like who's renting these places out? Is it teams? Is it friends?
Yes.
Is it semi-amateur team? I mean,
okay. For us in Kazakhstan, like mostly, like 98% from 80 to 40 aged men, like from middle to high class societies, like coworkers or friends, and I mean amateur teams, but mostly like friendships or communities, like colleagues, mostly in Kazakhstan market because it's quite popular to hang out.
and then what types of sports?
Mostly soccer, also basketball. We have lots of basketball like courts. Tennis is pretty popular also.
Pickleball, man.
What?
Pickleball.
Pickleball, yeah, right. Pickleball.
You gotta say that first. It's the most
Yeah, you got
trendiest.
aggressive.
Yes.
So okay, we saw you before. Tell us what's changed since the last time we saw you.
Okay.
We
we changed
progress, whatever.
lots of stuff. First of all, we changed our customers because last time in Georgia that we validated the service and exit, our customers were players. We were charging per payment customers, and it was pretty hard for organizing and for whole stuff. And we had high taxes because of it, per payment charging. And we've changed the whole view. Now our customers are only private venue managers who are using our platform. And monthly subscription based is pretty easy to use and pretty comfortable for us, monthly charging. So this is the main thing we've changed. I think the whole business model changed.
So the payment between user and venue is between them now.
Yeah.
You don't care about that.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
right.
well, because before, my understanding, if I remember correctly, like you were helping match like people like I want to play this sport, where should I play, and like how can I like basically reserve that thing to do pickup or whatever. But now you're switching to the venue. Are you still bringing the audience to the venue?
Of course.
Okay, so like you sort of double-sided market. Like you have the venue, so that's the supply, and then you have the players. But like, is the venue organizing the sports? Because like I've done a lot of pickup, like soccer, not pickleball yet, but like, getting there. But like usually there needs to be an organizer because usually the venue or the space doesn't actually organize the people.
Okay.
Usually, but I don't know what's it like here or these markets?
For us, I mean, we have that feature to find teammates also. But for us, the players are only users. We are not charging them. But to be sure, in all community, there is one true leader who is always organizing. I mean, who is gathering money. But for us, we don't need it because they can split payment. Everyone can, pay their own bill for it. But I mean, we don't organize it. We are not doing it. This is not our kind of job. We offer platform for stadium managers, and we say that we have two-sided market. Here are users, the players, who are going to find you through our platform. So this is the.
I feel like we're missing a third part there because you're saying like, okay, venue is just a space,
okay,
and then you have the players,
okay,
but who is gathering the players and making sure like how many and like what level and like organizing like there's almost always an organizer.
Yeah, but within the groups probably. Like I have multiple groups. Yeah, like we are on a WhatsApp group. Like we every Saturday play basketball. I mean, it's pretty normal and typical.
Yeah,
my problem is like subscription model versus the cut. Like,
but to be clear, well, first month is completely free. They are not paying.
I understand, but that doesn't change.
I mean, you can test it. I mean, if you like it, then you can continue. I mean, if you don't like it, we had that.
Okay, so let's like as a business owner, if I have monthly, subscription versus, the percentage, I'm going with percentage.
Yeah, okay.
Because that's a safer, if I make money, we all make money, versus like it's a, for it's a lot of money, man, for like,
But they are, look at this. Okay, sorry.
Because I think the incentive is the incentive is.
Per month you are paying $800 but annually you are gaining lots more.
And this is just one
what's
example,
more?
right?
What is the more? Like this is probably total 145K for all the users, right?
No.
Per venue.
So one venue?
So this is
Because-
Kazakhstan numbers, right?
Yes.
So this is, you're driving around 150,000 euros of incremental revenue
Yes.
to each venue.
Okay.
You only have 2 today.
What?
You only have 2 venues, right?
No, we have 32.
32? Why do you think? Okay.
So I mean,
So
let's.
yeah, I think as a point is like I could see like the onboarding. It's like okay, we're going to give out like you 1 month, and obviously if you generate a lot of money, you're like oh okay, no problem. Here's your $700 because I made so much more money. But like, you have to basically make sure they make money in the first month because if they make not enough money, they're going to be like $800. That's expensive.
Or if
like,
the competitor going to charge you $200 more and half of the money they got.
yeah. What's the cost structure of the competitor that you named? Like, how do they approach this?
How they approached. I mean, basically, they are now operating in Switzerland. I mean, they are not Swiss, but from Luxembourg. The startup is from Luxembourg.
Yeah, but like what are they charging? Like,
What's their business model?
their
They are
structure?
using also the monthly subscription.
Monthly subscription. Like, how much do they charge?
But we are cheaper. We chose because of cheaper. I mean, mostly the premium version for them is like 1,600, as I correctly remember.
yeah, but then you end up just getting in a price war with them. Like that's usually.
Well, I mean, to Zaza's point, you're more incentivized to bring people to the venues if you're making money on the cut of the revenue.
Yeah.
Here, you're comfortable just making a subscription, and the owner doesn't really know if you're really pushing the traffic to the venue because you have to still spend money on acquiring users.
Yeah. Yes.
If you continue to just make subscription and you spend zero on marketing, you're making a lot of money, but the venue is making nothing.
It's incentive
Not
alone.
only
And then
bring it, but
eventually the venue
how
will
do you
churn.
keep them?
Yeah, and venue will churn, right? So I think the incentives aligned if you're taking a cut of the revenue and then you're also bringing more people because that's how you're going to make money.
Yeah, because long term, I mean, the
advice.
big because you changed the model and stuff because this is kind of key point is like long term the churn rate because for you churn rate matters because there's a limited number of venues in any city, and if you start churning them, you're going to be really hard to get those guys back, really hard because they churn because they didn't like something and they probably won't try you again. So you have to. It's like a very high risk thing. So like having percentage or something seems safer because even if they don't like you, they stay with you.
Yes.
I think if you perform and you
stickier,
give them guaranteed traffic repeatedly, then you can offer them a subscription because based on your early performance, you're like, okay, you've made so much, just pay $1,000 a month, and you're actually still saving money because you paid me more the last year.
Okay.
That's still valid, but to start with this, I think you're going to have that issue where the venue is going to churn.
So, I mean, I think that really like our concern here is like, okay, like obviously you are charging it and you have 32 venues, so some customers accept this and it's working for them, but like you're talking about expanding into markets where you have less knowledge, less connections, less trust, where that like what you were able to succeed in Kazakhstan, that doesn't mean you're going to have the same experience in another country. So like it is a risk. Like, and I don't know if you have any thoughts about like just experimenting. Like obviously you changed once. Like
Can I see your monthly revenue?
Also, if you generate this much
23
revenue, why are you raising money? You don't need no money.
Well, that doesn't add up. 32 venues with $500 a month.
No, mostly they are using 800.
Can allow.
Like
I'm pretty sure
15 of them, they are using 800. Like 6 or 7 of them, 700, and like left like 4 or 3
It's just about
only
platform.
500.
That's all they need.
It's only been a few months.
I mean,
all they need to do
Okay,
is
so some are free.
Huh?
Some of the 32 are still free.
You have to have
What?
at least
Sorry?
one
Some of the
from
32 are still free.
people.
I can't.
Sorry, some of the 32 partners are free.
32.
You said you have 32 venues.
Yeah, that's right.
Some of them are still free.
And lock all those venues.
Not free.
That's
They
what
are
I told
paying.
the first
It
time.
has to go fast.
So that would be,
Yeah.
you'd have 15,000 minimum revenue per month.
At the 500 level.
But
Yeah,
how much you have?
16,000.
And how much you have now?
23.
Ah, okay, sorry.
23,000.
Okay.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Hello.
Yeah. I'll tell you the story.
Hello. Last year, I wanted to buy a pickup truck, Chevy Silverado. I found a really nice option on the used cars marketplace, and after that, I had to waste about 5 days to secure the proper lending option. The time I arrived to the car dealer with my money, the car was already sold and gone. And every time I see that Chevy in town, I'm getting really mad. That's how car deals are lost in our region. I am Levan from Metric, and my users don't have to wait 5 days. They receive different lending options on our platform in just 1 day. For 4 months of operations, we have already generated 20K revenue, and our users borrowed from our customers 600K. Our customers are 8 lending companies in Georgia, and they pay Metric commission only in case of successful loan application. And by this way, we are for them 40% cheaper than the traditional ways for acquiring new users. At Metric, we use commission-based business model, but we also try to bring Lending Tree and AutoTrader together. We started generating our users by different digital campaigns, direct offerings, social medias, but after a couple of months of operations, we found that our network has grown by 20 car dealers who were using our platform on a daily basis. So they actually used Metric to sell their cars faster. And that was the point when we started to grow. Our CAC is $17 and our LTV is $158. We will compete in the region with sales teams and sales agents of the banks and also with car marketplaces, but none of them is offering the users the same experience and functionality as we do. Our team consists of business and tech executives with more than 10 years of experience in international companies, and 2 co-founders, me and Sergo, are now full-time Metric. We see the opportunity to make auto sale industry in the region faster. Total addressable market is 20 billion, and we plan to make 6.8 million on the 3rd year of operations and 65 million on the 5th year. Right now, we need JITA grant to accelerate the growth, make faster market entry to Armenia and Kazakhstan, and also create back-end tools for optimizing operations. Thank you for attention.
Great tag, by the way, an amazing T-shirt.
Yeah,
love the T-shirt.
I love this T-shirt. This is great.
Can you just walk us through how you got into this business and what was the pain point and your experience on the lending side, if you have any?
Yeah, the main idea is that to compare different lending options, users have to make physical visits to the banks.
Sure.
And usually, if you want to compare 3 companies at least, you have to waste about 5 days. And because of that, you lose the car deal if you find the good car deal that is lost. That was my experience, actually.
So what information, what does the user onboarding look like when they go on your app? What kind of information are you collecting, which accelerates the process and gets you the 1-day approval, right?
Yeah. They are filling the application on the platform where they indicate what is their down payment, what is their credit score history, and whatever. And after that, we are sending this application to different banks which are interested in this kind of users. And we having contracts for our customers that they should reply to these applications in 1 day. So we receive the user receives on our platform the answer for minimum 3 different lending companies, and he can choose which one to.
And are the banks on your platform giving the answer? So they're evaluating the application on your platform?
Yes, they are giving the answer by user receives an answer by our platform. Right now, not all the customers are using our app. Not all the banks are using our app. They may send them email, and we are sending it to the customer.
Gotcha.
That's why we don't.
You're basically, this is a lead gen business, right?
And just the credit scoring and how that. I mean, so how it seems like it's super easy that a bank can give an answer in a few hours here in Georgia. Is that because it's quite digitalized already and they have a lot of information about the population?
Yeah, credit score is a really important thing in Georgia, but the main idea is that you never know which which bank has the best offer for lending, and to get this offer from the bank, they never tell you the exact terms on phone. If you call them, you have to make a visit to the branch, and they have to make this manual application, and after that they are sending it to the risk department, and customer is getting the answer, user is getting answer maybe about 2-3 days. And if you want to check 3 different companies, you have to make this whole process with all of them.
It's still the same. The answer is coming in 3 days, right? So how are you accelerating that 3 days? I mean, are you making their risk department work faster because you're giving them some information that they're getting up front that makes them more comfortable, or are they just being partners with you and be like, okay, these guys want a one-day turnaround and we're going to give them a one-day turnaround?
Yes, the answer is like this. When making contract with them, as we have really cheap users, cheap customers for them, 40% cheaper, one of the terms to work with us is to have, provide answer in just 1 day. And also, beside this, in our application is the main information their credit officers are making at branches, like the photos of the car, like the credit history, like the down payment amount. So they don't have to wait for their credit officers to bring this information to the risk department. So,
so banks can build their own platform like that, right?
Yes, but the main idea is that we are we are not a lending company. We are independent guys who help the user to find best option on the market. So that's the credibility we have with our users. The bank will sell their own product. They will not sell the other bank's product.
Can you talk a little bit about the traction, how many users, how many cars were sold? And then I would also love to understand, when you mark your down payment on the app, how are you verifying that the user is actually going to give that down payment? So let's say you approve them and you say, I'm going to give 50% down payment, but they don't really have the 50%.
Oh, well.
Is that happened on the app? So as you're kind of explaining the traction, would love to kind of understand if there have been any friction points with the approval process.
For 4 months of operations, we have already generated 20K revenue, and this revenue is commission from the banks to us. We, for this time, generated 500 users, and 150 from them was approved. So our approval rate right now is 30%, but we know how to make it bigger and how to scale and make this percentage bigger. And we, of course, had the cases when user indicated some problematic, not true information in the application, but when receiving the refusal, me and Sergo, as full-time employees for Metric, we interact with this user and discuss what was the main problem with them. And if he really wants to get this loan and to buy this car, we give him advices how to make it. For example, if down payment is not enough, let's change the car. Let's find the cheaper car. We have partnering brokers. They will help you to find the cheaper.
So are those tools that you've built in the app, or this is manual right now?
Right now, it's manual, and we plan to use our grant, if we win, for creating such tools as also for faster integration to Armenia and Kazakhstan.
So so you said there's a $20 billion market. So this is specific to automotive in those markets that you're attacking? That's what you meant by 20 billion?
Is it automotive or is it insurance?
Like I'm not sure what the TAM refers to here.
Okay. This is total loan portfolio of the target market.
For cars?
For only cars.
Okay, got it. So what's the average loan size? What's the interest percentage? What's the payback period for these?
Average loan number is about $5,000 per loan. I'm not sure about the interest rates because between different markets
it's variable. Okay. But what's the term of the loan like?
Term of the loan is about 3 years.
3 years.
2 and 3 years.
So you're saying that you're taking commission fee, but that's flat on the total amount. Like right at the beginning, like when the loan is made, the bank pays you 3% immediately.
Yes.
Okay. Are you trying to make some relationship with the dealership? Because some people do get loan approval before they go to car, but oftentimes people just go drive the car, they fall in love with the car, and they've already made the decision, but now they have to leave the dealership, to your example, and they leave the dealership, and then they have to figure out the finance and come back, and the car is gone. It seems like the dealer should be incentivized to help you get the financing done on site.
And pay you in some way also. Dealers can pay them as well to get the financing done, potentially.
It's hard. Maybe it depends on the scenario. But are you talking to dealers to be as a lead gen? This could decrease your CAC actually, right?
Thank you for this question. The main idea is that dealerships are not in Georgia or other markets as in US. We have independent car sellers, and all of them have by using metric, they have the numbers. If they receive customer who wants to buy their car, what will be the lending amount? They can help their customers to send the application to us. So that's the main idea, that we try to increase our car brokers network so they can support their customers to buy their own cars by the credit.
So this is a key channel.
Yeah, that's the key. Yeah.
Tell us what kind of progress you've made. How many independent dealers have you met with? How many are adopting metric? How many of your existing loans came from the dealers?
Well, it's about 50%, half of the users that use the metric is from dealers. And the main idea is that dealers, it was generated by only 20 dealers. So we talked with them on the biggest open market in Georgia. It's Rustavi auto market. And they are really happy to have the online tool that they don't have to send their customers to the branches and wait for several days. They receive the numbers online. So that's why they use our platform. And they are key drivers to increase the user base of our platform.
Quick question on Georgia market. How many second-hand cars are sold per year, and how many of those have the buyer needs a loan?
20% of the whole market is bought by loan in target markets, but in Georgia it's much bigger. It's 40% because it's cultural type, because Georgians really love cars, and usually how the value chain of the car industry works in our region, Georgians bring the cars from the US, they repair it and sell to Kazakhstan and Armenia first of all, and after the other markets. So that's the main idea for us, to have to support them sell faster.
Okay, and just more or less how many cars? We're talking, what's the size of the market in Georgia?
In 5 years, it will be 16 million in our target region. 16 million cars, and 2 million from them will be bought by loans each year.
Okay, and in this region, you think there's a similar problem in all the countries to Georgia? Yeah. It's the same problem?
Yeah. And for Kazakhstan and Armenia guys, we plan what will be our MVP for Armenia and Kazakhstan. When they arrive to Georgia to buy the car, they will have option to buy this car by their own their bank of their country. Yeah. So they will have the option to buy it here. Thank you so much.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.